give him one.
Yeah, I don't know my
Why
hair
do they
too.
have to... Yeah,
You do that.
it's on.
Wait, is that mean it's dead? That's on.
Wait, it's red.
No, it's green on the other side.
Oh. Yeah, it's full charge.
Hey, hey. Weird him.
This is live.
He's ready to run too. He's looking happy. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the late game here on ACT Gridiron's American Football ACT. Brought to you by Cultured Media on our YouTube channel, American Football ACT. My name's Matt Connor. You're with me for the afternoon. And as part of our wonderful media crew here, the team from Cultured Media and driving the scoreboard with me today, Peyton Evans. No man job Melly today. Got a story about that. That goes off on Bandcamp. And very good on him. The wind orchestra he's a part of definitely needs a little bit of man job Melly. And we're fortunate today to have such nice sunny conditions. But if you look closely at the trees on the far side of the ground, oh my gosh, the wind down on ground level, it is quite something. It is running from left to right of screen and slightly from the front to the back of the screen. So essentially somewhat diagonally from your bottom left to your top right of the screen, which is about the direction we're going to see George Dutton kick this one off. The UC Stars, 2 wins, 5 losses, taking on the 0-7 Gladiators, but plenty to play for here, as there is still a great chance for the Gladiators to get out of the season with a couple of victories. And they've been playing really well lately. So this ball is kicked off and it's returned by Van Veen, wearing the number 7 in that gold helmet. He's going to return that one somewhere in the range of 10 yards. He gets the ball out past the 30-yard line. And we're going to see the Gladiators start with the ball on their own 32-yard line. But look at that one. So in the pre-game today, fortunate enough actually to get time with each of the coaches today. Talking to Coach Marshall of the Stars, he's just so proud of his guys. He'd sort of said at the start of the year that, wins, they're a nice thought. They weren't something that was critical for this year, but they got their win on opening day and they've looked really together. Now, Lion has slowly grown in confidence over the year, and after talking to Grady Ogilvie too there, he's all about their Lions. He loves his big boys. We're going to try and give the big boys some call-outs today as well, make sure that they get their love. But here we go, the Gladiators with Bailey McManus under centre. Hand the ball off to the backfield. John Butterfield is back, and he rumbles and bumbles. Gets himself a yard or two, and it will make it 2nd down and 8 to go. This Gladiators team haven't had it all their own way this season either. They were really close in a game against the Stars a couple of weeks ago. We saw them take a 12-point lead in the 4th quarter, only to have it run down. And depending on who you talk to in the Gladiators team, they'll say, oh, it's a nice catch. They'll say it's a fluky catch in the back of the end zone to separate that game. But a nice comeback for the Stars, and just a tough loss for this Gladiators team. They really pushed the Centurions in the first half of last week's game too, as we see McManus under a bit of pressure, and he ducks and dives, and Tyreek Lee comes in to get a portion of that sack with 61. Grant Clark, who's going to be playing a bit of centre today. Just great effort, and we see that be 3rd and 9, while McManus gets dropped for a loss of 1 in the end. Nice play by Tyreek Lee. Now, these big boys, I've been copping a little bit from the big boys in this league that I don't call their names enough, and we've really made a good effort in the first game. If you caught that first game this week between those Centurions who were top of the ladder coming in and the Garland Wolves with everything to play for, and plenty of the big boys getting their names called out in that one, which is great for the whole league, I think. It's we'll be talking about the big boys again here today as well for this late game. McManus gets the snap, and he takes Butterfield on an option with him. He gets out to the left side, and he's got a head of steam up. Did he just truck a man at the marker? He did. He's going to pick up some yardage, enough for a 1st down. Nice run by John Butterfield. We're going to mark him for 10, and that will give them a 1st down, their first down of the day. And they move the ball across the 43-yard line to the 40. Yeah, bang on the 44-yard line. So a nice start, 1st and 10 for this Gladiators team. They've got a few heads in this team that we haven't seen a lot of this year. Matt Morrison is the wide receiver running towards us at the bottom of the screen in number 8. And inside of him, Jake Humphries, who had a great week last week in his first week back since early in the season with an ankle injury. He went 8 for 105 and a touchdown in their 56-12 loss last week. And Butterfield just trips over in the backfield. John Butterfield's going to lose about 3 yards on that one. It'll be 2nd and 13. That's just a pity, because that was only about grip on the field. It wasn't about, their defense collapsing on him. He just kind of fell over, and we're going to see that be 2nd down and about 13 to get. The coach of this side, the Gladiator side, is Jesse Date. I'd say he's a former player. I think he'd like to be a former player, but he continues to find himself out there on defense. He told me last week if he's out there on offense, something's gone horribly wrong. We're glad he didn't have to stoop to that. But today I did hear him say, I'm punter. That's his whole role today when he's not coaching, is going to be punting. And they really fancy their chances today as McManus under pressure, and the ball goes through the hands of Jake Humphries. Excellent pressure there from McManus and Lee. That is Mason McGuinness. Sorry, not McManus, McGuinness. There's McManus's and McGuinness's. So McGuinness with the pressure on McManus. Sounds like a bit of a tongue twister, that one. Beautiful work to get in there and put the pressure on 3rd down and 13 to get. And this is a great way to stop a drive, is to put a team in 3rd down and quite a lot of yards to get. They only need to get the ball 13 yards if they want to get a new set of downs. But 13 yards is quite a lot to get, as we've seen. So they started their drive on their own 34. And here we go. They start with the ball in McManus's hands. He pitches it out to Butterfield to try and get him an edge and get him to run downhill. Thomas Grant had a swipe at that, trying to create a fumble because he knew he wasn't going to get good contact on his body. Gets around that corner and turns upfield, and we'll pick up a bunch of yards. We'll mark him for about 6 by the look of that. And it's going to be 4th down and 7 to get. That's going to bring on the punt unit, you'd say. They're changing personnel, and then they've turned McManus around and sent him back out there. So how about that? After a gain of 6 on that last play from Butterfield, they're going to keep the offense out there for this 4th and 7. The ball's near halfway. This is no death sentence if you don't get the 1st down, but you're on the 47, And you need to get the ball to across halfway to the 46 going the other way. So it's still quite a few yards to get. It's McManus goes on the pitch and it goes to Van Veen. Kobe Van Veen comes off this side. He's going to do enough to get the first down and steps inside, gets another block, and he's still got Matt Morrison blocking for him. He goes down the sideline and he's going to get into the end zone. No, he's going to get pushed out. He had his foot marked out on the 6-yard line. And that is Kobe Van Veen. You'd seen him before. You've seen him maybe in the NSW Gridiron League because he'd played for the Lions for some years there. And he goes on that run. That was from their own 47 to the 7. It's an excellent run of 46 yards for Van Veen. And that puts him down in a 1st and goal to go. Doing a great job. Pop this one back in the middle here a bit. So we are in a 1st and goal to go from the 7 as McManus checks what's in front of him and he puts his hands out ready for this snap. He turns to the right, hands it to Brody Norris, who's swung down for a loss of a yard at the 7-yard line. Looks like, yeah, no, they're going to mark him at the 8, so it is a loss of 1. At 7, it would have been just a no gain, but this is their 4th different ball carrier at this point, and no pass attempts so far. It's probably what you're looking to do is try and keep the pressure low on McManus. He has improved over the last couple of weeks. Last week he had the touchdown pass. He was 9 of 16, did a bunch of rushing. They really, really took the challenge to the Centurions in the Wolves in the first half before the second half kind of ran away from a bit in that 56-12 loss. But they went into half looking every bit the part. And here they are with the ball on the porch, looking to go in the front door of the Stars team. And McManus with his first pass of the day. He's got a lot of pressure and he gets the ball out to the right to Brody Norris. He scores the touchdown. Thomas Grant put as much pressure as you can on Bailey McManus. He gets the ball out to the right. Norris beats a man and gets over into the goals. He scores, and the Gladiators take a 6-point lead after that long run from Kobe Van Veen set them up in 1st and goal. Gladiators 6, Stars haven't had the ball yet, and this is the perfect start for the Gladiators team. Now, I have a lot of stats from Brody Norris. Last week, he had a 94-yard kick return to open the game. He had 3 receptions for 48 yards. And he had 4 carries for 40 yards. Well, the guy can do a little bit of everything. And here today, he's got their only catch from their only pass. And he's got the touchdown. And this is Dave Casey. And he's marked short, I think. No, he might have got in, but there are flags. There are flags, and this looks like this play is not going to stand. And we might be up for a replay of this down. There was a lot of movement beforehand. I'm not surprised that this is going to be a false start penalty. Will cost them 5 yards, and it will be the 2-point try will now come from the 8-yard line instead of the 3. Here comes the 2-point try. They're back in the huddle to talk about this. Here we go. They snap the ball and Norris. Oh, McManus throws it through the middle and it is battered in the air. Nice play in that defensive reaction to that ball coming across the middle. It's knocked into the air harmlessly out the back of the end zone in the end. And the 2-point conversion is not successful. The Gladiators will maintain their 6-0 lead. 2-point conversion fails. And the Gladiators have not had a lot of leads this year, but they did the last time they played the Stars. They led 12-0 going into the 4th quarter before the Stars turn that around. So just be very interesting to see now what the Stars' response is like. Gladiators have benefited a little bit in the last couple of weeks from having some very experienced guys join their squad and really help them bridge some gaps. As we see from Coach Jesse Date today, saying that he's got the services of Matt Morrison back in the lineup, and also we saw the immediate difference that having Jake Humphries made last week. We've seen great contributions too from fellas like Matt King in the last couple of weeks, who's a well-known player from the Sydney comp. But then you also see great contributions from young fellows like Brodie Norris. He's only playing about his 5th game, and I mean, I just read he had 3 different stat lines that you could have said he played a great game on last week in what turned out to be a heavy loss. But it just kind of shows there's some nice green shoots there. And also going to benefit today, we think, from Van Veen, who's wearing the 7 and wearing that gold helmet. But there is so much nice young talent in this team. It'd be good to see them continue to grow some of these young guys as well, especially when you've got guys with the sort of skill that we've just seen out of Norris. We've also seen Will Bennett play really well, number 4, who wears the red helmet, and John Butterfield, who's been really terrific this year. A lot of fun to watch. So I'm hoping that some of these guys can continue to get the work. Clayton Gunning will not have to return this as the kickoff goes out of bounds, and we'll have a penalty on the kickoff. So they call that an illegal procedure because you're not allowed to just kick it straight out of bounds without it being touched. So they're going to re-kick this one from 5 yards deeper instead of 35. Be kicking off from the 30. Luke Hall, who's wearing the 53, he's been more famously in 19 in years gone by, but he's wearing 53 for eligibility so he can do a few more jobs for this team. And he boots this one. Doesn't matter how far away Luke Hall is, he can always find a touchback. We're going to see this young Stars team re-emerge with the ball on the 25-yard line. A lot to like about this young Stars side. Let's start with George Dutton. He started the year hoping to make an impact as a tight end, a linebacker. With the injury to Thomas Grant in the first game, he then assumed the quarterback role. Thomas Grant returned last week, but not in the quarterback role. They've brought him back chiefly as a defender, and they've given George the reins to continue to run the offense. So it wasn't what he was planning to do. He knew he was going to take a leadership role in this team. He didn't expect to be doing it the way he is, but he's led him to 2 wins. He helped get him over the line in that first week against this Gladiators outfit, and then again in week 6 when they had to lead a comeback. He's in that white helmet, number 23. George Dutton. He's got Mason McGuinness in the background there behind him. He takes the ball. He's got the red helmet, and he's going to bumble forward and get himself a couple of yards. Instead of being 1st and 10, it is now going to be 2nd and 7. And McGuinness has been a great contributor. We saw him do a whole bunch of damage last week. He had 6 carries for 79 yards. Brent Williams also had 76 yards and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in last week's game. So these guys can seriously get it done on the ground when they need to. So that's 2nd down and 7 with the ball starting on their 25. They are looking to respond to a 68-yard touchdown drive to open this game by the Gladiators. And Dutton looks to his right and hits Grant in the hands. He just jumped a little early and the ball grazes off his fingers and falls harmlessly to the ground. Brett Morgan was in coverage there, just putting a little bit of pressure on him. But Dutton, who's played better of late as well, we gave Bailey McManus a few props for his nice completion percentage last week, one of his best of his career. We've also seen Dutton. He went 7 of 18 last week, so tougher in a game where they were trailing, but he ended up with 102 yards and a touchdown as well as 8 carries for 23 yards and just looked every bit the piece. Reese Neves has been his number 1 target there with 4 of his 7 completions, 63 of those yards. And we see Dutton hand off again to McGuinness, and McGuinness goes right up the middle here on 3rd down, and it is going to be a good gain again. He's going to be marked just over the 30-yard line at the 32, which means it'll be 4th down and about 3 to get. Nice run from Mason McGuinness. I'm going to give him credit for 2 rushes for 7 yards, and then Dutton's got that incomplete pass, but They're going to keep the offense out here, and I would too. I've seen my running back get 4 yards and 3 yards. You need 3. To continue to get 3 yards every play, you're going to win a lot of games. And this Stars team, they are ready to win today. The Gladiators also circled this one as one that they could probably get a win on, so we know the stakes are high, and this pass goes a little high and a little behind Thomas Grant, and it is going to be a turnover on downs with the ball on their own 32-yard line here, and they end up getting 7 yards on the drive before it comes to a screaming halt. And this Gladiators defense holds up, and they're going to get the ball in plus territory here. The 2 and 5 Stars turning the ball over on downs. Now, when you don't catch me here on a weekend with my buddy Manjot away today, as we said before, you can catch me through the week. We run a couple of podcasts on the Aussie Gridiron Network where I live. We do the Supercoach Halfer with my buddy Taylor. That generally comes out in the late part of the week on a Thursday, often with some of our understanding of what's happening in the world of Supercoach for NFL. Brand new to the Supercoach platform this year. And we've had wonderful support. So if you're playing Supercoach NFL, come and find our podcast on the Aussie Gridiron Network and just mash that into any podcast catcher that you listen to. But also you find me on the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show where we talk NFL fantasy football. And it is 100% Aussie production. We're in our 6th season of that over there. We play plenty of games, tipping points, starts of the week. We talk about breakouts. We always have a guest on. We tend to put them through a few motions about where they found their NFL allegiances and ask them the important questions in life. Like, you know, in a zombie apocalypse or an alien apocalypse, which one do you prefer? Why? That sort of thing. You can find us all there on the Aussie Gridiron Network. You'll also catch, that's where Manjot and I tend to put up our recaps of what happens here in the American Football ACT as well. Aussie Gridiron today has had a bit of a catch-up session and was published this weekend with what happened in the first 7 weeks of the season. My recap of what happens here in the 8th week of the season will be up there in the middle to late part of next week as well. And then, of course, my buddies at G'day Gridiron. Ian, Brad, Nick, Isaac. Go and catch them all. They have 2 shows. They talk one through the middle of the week about the recaps from the weekend and previewing the Thursday night game. And then they have the games you must watch on the Sunday slate plus preview of Monday Night Football. Find it all on the Aussie Gridiron Network. We are at 1st and 10, and Bailey McManus has the option, and he hands it off to Butterfield. It's not tricking Tyreek Lee, who's been playing a great job on end today, but that is a rumble-bumble run from Butterfield, who gets 3 yards. It is going to be 2nd down and 7 to go. Butterfield already with 5 carries for 15 yards. Yeah, just really nice work. Got a nice seal on the edge there. Got around the corner. Good handoff. Just a nice, just took the option early. Humphries comes in and makes a play. Slows up a rusher. Gets them the 3 yards. They're 2nd and 7. It's Gladiators. They lead this game 6-0 with thanks to a Brody Norris touchdown on what should definitely have been a Thomas Grant sack on Bailey McManus. He got the ball out and Norris did the rest. 6-0. Score in this one. McManus drops back. He can see that he's got Bennett in the middle of the field. Nice pass. And Bennett's got room and he breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Just like that, Will Bennett. He has been an excellent addition to this passing threat core, to this whole passing core. He has had touchdowns. He has had a couple of learning moments in there. But here he goes with a 29-yard touchdown. And that takes the score out to 12-0. How about that? Gladiators on the board twice early here in this first quarter. Check this out from McManus. You don't get this every day. He is 2 of 2 for 33 yards. And 36 yards. And he's got 2 touchdowns. 2 completions, 2 touchdowns. Just a really nice play there. A 29-yard catch and run from Will Bennett. Now, no recognised kicker on either of these teams, which sees McManus under centre, and we're either going to see the handoff or we're going to see the sneak. And, Butterfield gets a delayed handoff. There was a little fumble in the handoff, but he gets the handoff. And a beautiful turn from McManus as you sell it to the right and then turn back to the left. A great hole opens up there. We'll give some players some credit here as I'm getting the replay. I just want to make sure I get some number plates right on who threw which block here. Beautiful job. by this offensive line. Kane Emery, got to get up pretty early in the morning to get one past Kane Emery. Also nice work there from Dave France, a 63. Luke Hall in there with the snapper. Just a beautiful play. And we see these big boys carving the way for the 2-point conversion. Nice job by Butterfield getting the 2-pointer. Takes the score to 14-0. Just a really nice play for the 2-point conversion there.
Well.
So the cloud cover comes in. We don't think there's any threat of problems with the weather the way we did in the first game. We heard thunder in the first game, but that's just blew around us to the south, so we were lucky. We've got dry conditions. As Luke Hall goes to chip, is he going to get the 10 yards? It is, and Norris is going to fall on it, and they steal a possession. Wow! And how about that? That is just a smart play to keep on top of where the ball is, which line the ball needs to cross, and that ball is picked up. And after a 32-yard touchdown drive, they steal a possession back and will start with the ball on their own 46. So it means now we've got the Gladiators on their third drive of the game, while the Stars have only had one possession. They managed 7 yards on that drive, where we've seen the Gladiators move at 68 and 32 yards to get their 2 touchdowns. And now they start with it 54 yards away from pay dirt. And McManus, 2 passes, 2 touchdowns. Now, nice job letting Tyreek Lee come off the edge because he's the guy you want to read. And a beautiful job by McManus passing it off to Butterfield. And Butterfield's going to gain around 7 yards. We're going to give him 7 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 3 after that nice run from Butterfield. He's already got 6 carries today. Looking really good. Good to have him back in the lineup after they really missed him last week. We saw last week they didn't have a really recognised ball carrier. And they did find it hard to move the ball on the ground. It's not that they weren't giving it everything they had. They had Brodie Norris out there trucking the ball a few times. He ended up with probably the best rate of carrying too. He had a 35-yard carry as part of it, but also just finished with 48 total yards from his 3 carries, plus all the other magic he did. So McManus has his line set again. And he receives this snap. And again, nice penetration from the sides from Liam Maskell-Knight, who's being held a bit. But Bennett, over the middle, takes a great catch. And it was just a nice job with their route concept here as they pulled players away from the middle and let Bennett run down the middle. He goes from the 46 at his own end. He's going to be spotted down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. What a terrific play for Will Bennett. It's a 36-yard catch. 35-yard catch. We're going to give him to the 20. 19. But just check that play out. Oh, really impressive to get that to split and leave Bennett with all that space in the middle. So we see McManus with the team set now. And he gets a nice block up front. And, well, the ball gets dropped. And we've got to mark it where he picks it up. So it's going to count as a negative run. And they're going to take 4 yards off him. And it's going to, instead of be 1st and 10, it's going to be 2nd and 14 now. So McManus kind of a bit unlucky there. 2nd and 14. Just watching the replay of this pass. And they did such a great job of sending players left and right, just so that they could put Bennett down the middle. Now we go to live play, and we've got Van Veen, who looks like he's got some time out there, and he just gets wrapped up by Maskell-Knight. He'll gain about 3 yards, but he does nowhere else to go. And we're going to find ourselves at 3rd and 11, maybe 12. Van Veen just grabs a couple of yards. quick stat correction. There was a 27-yard catch to Will Bennett earlier, and now if you see the ball here, we're on 3rd down. We've got ourselves set up outside the 20. We're at about the 22-yard line going in. And you know what? A big stop here will make it very hard for this Gladiators team to convert, and you're too close to punt, so you know they're going to go for it. So I think as a defense, you've got to treat this like it's still 2nd down. You can see Kyle Morris was ready to blitz, and he comes off the edge. Nice protection. This one sails clear over the head of Bennett. It's nice to see Bailey McManus really giving it a bit of a push through the air. He's had a couple of nice completions to Bennett and Norris. That's his first incomplete pass of the day, and we find ourselves at 4th down. And you just got to go for it. You're too close not to, and you don't have a recognised kicker. Does seem a little pointless to punt this one from here. So here we go. So McManus is back waiting for the ball. He's got this option with Van Veen. He gets the ball out to Van Veen. There's plenty of space to run. It's not going to be enough for a 1st down, and he meets Jacob Miller over on this near side and kind of gives him a bit of a stiff arm to the helmet, but he had nowhere to go. Miller's body was ready to prevent that, and it will be a turnover on downs after Van Veen goes and gains him about 7 yards. That will end the drive down on about the 13-yard line. So we'll say that they move the ball from their own 46 to the 13, around about a 41-yard drive. And a lot of that coming from that lovely pass to Bennett across the middle for 27 yards. And so here we go with George Dutton under centre, and he looks to the right, and he's got Thomas Grant, but that ball's going to sail over his head. He'd beaten his corner, all ends up. That was Brett Morgan who he'd beaten, and the ball just sails over his head. If that was, he just tracked that one. He could have been away. He could have been away. But George Dutton misses him, and we'll go to 2nd and 10. We're just getting the good oil here that there will be some rain coming by the look of it. Could be coming any time from now in the next half hour, and that may make things interesting. Because if you want to believe Google Weather, and outside of my meteorologist here, Brad, I do trust Google Weather sometimes, that it sounds like we could well have a little bit of thunder. We may even have lightning. So this will make it interesting to see what the officials do. But at the moment, just rumbles. That's all we've got, just rumbles. But here we go. We got the penalty drops him back to 1st and 15. And he goes to the same side, and he gets the pass. Dutton gets it to Thomas Grant, and he's over the sideline. What a lovely play. You lose 5 yards for the penalty, and then you come all the way back and throw that pass. What a great pass. He throws it all the way from his 12. He's backed up into his 7, and he now gets him out to the 32. Just a lovely play, 25-yard pass. So McGuinness goes charging up the middle. He'll gain a couple more yards. He gets the ball out past to the 31. They're going to mark him. Give him 5 yards for that one. But let's just go back to that pass from Dutton. 25 yards down that right side. He went straight back to Thomas Grant. We saw the Centurions do the same thing earlier in the morning game, where they just sent Henneke on a fly 3 times in a row. That poor bugger, he would have been exhausted. And 2 of them hit him in the hands, and they just couldn't complete the touchdown grab. But how about that? Just a nice play. And we see the Stars move the ball up, and they are on the 35-yard line here. And Dutton hands it to McGuinness. He drops it, but picks it up. Dutton picks it up here. Someone sat a swipe at him and almost got his face grid. He gets the first down. He turns inside of one defender and then gets thrown over the sideline by the next one. And that is a fantastic play. Fred Bennett was initially the person who came across to make the play on him, but he goes from the 35-yard line, and now he's going to get marked at the 44-yard line. That is a 19-yard gain by young George Dutton, and it is another first down, and this time The pass goes sailing way out wide and misses Jack Clayton Gunning out there is a wide receiver covered by Jack Panaccio. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. You might take So we'll see what happens with the weather here because the wind has picked up. It has gotten dark. The cloud is coming in. We've heard a rumble or two over my back shoulder. And we start here with George Dutton. He's got an up back, that red helmet just in front of him. He's got a running back behind him too. And, oh, gee, Mason McGuinness almost lurched too far forward, but he gets the ball and he runs into the gap where the motion came from. He gets across the first down before he's knocked out of bounds by Brodie Norris. We've got a man down in the middle. We'll come back and check out what's happening there, but it looks like it's going to be a gain of about 12 yards to McGuinness and a 3rd first down on this drive after they only gained 7 last time. And lovely work that he just got a good seal on the edge and away he goes. And gee, I don't know if you can detect this by looking at the trees on the far side of the ground there, but my goodness, the wind has picked up something ferocious and just a nice block. Gets around the edge of 50, a really nice block in fact, from this near side like the right side guard. And we've got a timeout on the field, but gee, that wind behind me, and this is something that you can hear when you're at the ground, is that it is really, really picked up. And we can also see that it is now raining on the field. Our man down is number 93. We all know him as Gimli. He does have a name. Nobody actually knows what his name is, but we call him Gimli. And it's also, this marks the first quarter where they currently have the Gladiators with a 12-point lead. And this is where conditions will get fun, right? We've seen, too, just for those playing at home, our poor medics from Positive Motion have had their marquee just blow over on them. It's just collapsed on them. So, yeah, they are poor devils over there. We've had some bad luck with them and marquees over time. A couple of weeks ago, we actually had one where you had to scrap the whole thing. We ended up having to cut it into little pieces so it'd fit in the back of someone's ute because it was so deformed. And here we go. We're going to start the second quarter with gale force winds. And you can see on the far side of the field, those trees are blustering and bustering. It's horrible out there. But this Gladiators team are going to start with the ball, defending it from their own 32-yard line. And here come the Stars. Clayton Gunning in motion. Hands off to McGuinness. McGuinness gets around the outside, tries to beat. Oh, my goodness, what a great tackle. They were really trying their best to get to the edge, and they couldn't get to the edge. So they tried to get around and create some yardage down that sideline. Beautiful job there by Job Amanamoy. He's been fantastic this year too. He hasn't played every game, but he's back from the injury now. And Job Amanamoy has been terrific. Absolutely terrific. It's good to see him chasing him down, making that tackle. And we're going to see him still in second in about 10 yards. The judge who's marking the spot has had his bucket hat fall off. High drama here at Greenway Oval, as we see the Stars come back, and the judge has to stand there on the ball because the ball may blow away. That is how strong the wind is at the moment. The judge actually has to stand there with the ball between his ankles. Dutton has his offensive line set. And here we go. Puts a man in motion. It is once again Clayton Gunning. He's going to hand the ball to Gunning, and Gunning's going to get the edge. He does. He gets around, and Morgan has to put him out of bounds. He'll gain a few yards here, though. How many? He's going to gain about 4 yards. And the chain gang on the far side have moved. They shouldn't have. We're going to give him about 3rd and 5. We'll give him 3rd and 5. So nice job by Clayton Gunning. And like we're in the back of the grandstand now, and the wind is just high enough that we can even feel a bit of that gentle rain hitting us right in the back of the grandstand. And I mean, by back of the grandstand, I've got a media box behind me. I've got about, 3 or 4 rows of seating before the cut-in, where the canteen's right under us. So we're nowhere near the edge of the cover. But the wind is such that it's blowing that rain all over the place, and it's getting quite slippery out there. This rain is meant to hang around for anywhere up to half an hour as well. even though we can see the light is starting to return on the ground a bit because the sun's in a different spot to where the cloud is. The cloud's very direct above. A little injury report to Gimli, who was hurt before, looks all right. And George Dutton didn't see his first read and then comes back out to the right and gets around. And again, it's Morgan who has to push him out of bounds, but he's getting it a first down. And George Dutton picks up 10 yards. Really nice play to the edge for George Dutton. It is his second first down run. So how about that? Yet to complete a pass. That wasn't that beautiful one to Thomas Grant. He's 1 of 4 today for 25 yards. But, no completed passes, no attempted passes so far in this quarter for George Dutton, and they are moving the ball. And this game could use the Stars touchdown. It really could. Now, we do see there are some benefits to teams who have marquees. But on a day like this, there is a benefit to being a team without a marquee because it can't blow away and need replacement. We see that same motion where Clayton Gunning gets the handoff, but there is no handoff. And Jack Panaccio just cuts through like a hot knife through butter. And he just drags down Mason McGuinness for a 4-yard loss. Let's make that second down and 14 yards to go. Just a terrific tackle. Unbelievable stuff from Jack Panaccio. So Mason McGuinness has had an otherwise really great day back there. He's gone for 3, 4, 5, and 12, so that's 24 yards, and then 8, a 4-yard loss there to be in second and 14. And the wind has just dipped for the moment, so this might be an opportunity for the Stars to try and use that. As the handoff, it's a fake handoff, and then Dutton keeps it, cuts up the middle, really nice block through the middle. He's going to get all the way down into the 3-yard line, 2-yard line. What a great run, opportunistic as you like, from George Dutton, who just got a beautiful hole open up. Let's see if we can get some number plates of the big boys up there who are doing the work as they go to the side, which has the up back 15, Toby Flynn, in the red helmet. And just makes a whole bunch of space. A lovely block on the inside by Sun, and then on the outside as well by, it's both. There's Sun and, Zhao Li took the block on the inside. It's number 72 and number 62, the great Chinese imports to this team that Tyreek Lee was able to recruit in the off-season. Just a beautiful run from Dutton. And here we go. He gives it to Mason McGuinness, and he's going to fall into the end zone. And he's getting marked short. They say his knee was down before the ball crossed the plane. It was first and goal from the 2. It's now second and goal from the 1. 2nd and 1. We see George Dutton. He's run the ball 3 times today. He's gone up and got 48 yards. This is a Brody Norris rushing line. He had 3 carries for 48 yards last week. Stars with a yard to get. They're down 12 points in this game. And this could go a long way to bringing them right back into this game on the scoreboard. Trying to get the defense to jump. There is no jump. And Dutton hangs it out to the corner for Clayton Gunning. Great job by moving the other receiver on that side, Lockie Hardy, in and doing a nice crossing route to give Gunning the space to run into. It falls harmlessly incomplete. And we're going to have 3rd down and a yard to go. I mean, we see this so much in this level as well. You're not going to send out a kicker. We don't have recognised kickers for either of these teams. But what you do have is you've got the ball a yard out. And everyone's got, every play in your playbook is designed to get you a yard or more. You are going to treat this like it's 2nd down. When this is a 3rd down play, but because you will go for it on 4th down anyway, you may as well treat it like it's 3rd down. We see the red hat of Sam Simmons out there now at the top of screen. A few red hats out there, all Firebirds players coming back home to University of Canberra. They hand it off, and McGuinness is going to go up the middle. Did he get there? He did not get there, and he is marked down at the half-a-yard line. We are doing this in just a couple of feet at a time. Like that, we've ended up moving the ball by a length of the ball, I reckon, from the 1-yard line to where it is now. Absolutely fantastic defensive stand here. Great play up the middle, just blocking that hole. Rowan Murphy in the 92 jersey. Luke Hall there in the 53 jersey. Jobo Manamoy in the 30 with the gold helmet. Some of the big boys out there making a difference Fakalolo out there as well, 77. Lots of big boys in there making some hay and causing some trouble. It is 4th down, and Dutton fakes the handoff. He gets around Panacho. He dives for the end zone, and over Norris for the touchdown! George Dutton! We're going to have to mark it as a 1 yard run. It was about a half a yard run, but it was an exciting half a yard. That brings the Stars team back to 14-6. And we've seen this movie before where the Gladiators get a lead. George Dutton doing his best to bring them back into it. Here comes the 2-point try. This ball gets spotted on the 3 for those of you playing at home. Without a recognised kicker. They convert it, they get 2. They miss it, they get nothing. Dutton fakes one side, goes the other. It is intercepted by Jack Panacho. He just goes down. He doesn't have to return it. He just goes down. It stops the play. And it is now 14-6. That's an intercept on the play. It won't count in terms of a passing start. For Dutton, it's a conversion. So you'd say it's a missed conversion. Nice intercept by Jack Panacho. Earlier in the year against the Centurions, we saw Jack Panacho take 2 intercepts and return both of them for touchdowns. The first one, I was talking to him after that game. He said to me, mate, that was like a dream. I caught it and I ran off with it and I felt like magic. I don't know a better feeling. Well, I would have said that if 3 minutes later I hadn't had a second one come my way. And then I just thought I must have been dead. I can't believe that this is happening to me and I'm alive as he ran the second one in for a touchdown. So it's a magical feeling. And you can see that he has a presence out there. He plays a lot of linebacker and nickel corner. He's a great presence. He's an experienced player. You'll see that number 48 flying around like he's shot out of a pinball. And this is the moment. The reason that this is a 14-6 game and not a 14-8 game. So here we go, George Dutton, touchdown scorer. Kick-offer man as well, as he's back with the arm in the air. Left side, right side, let's kick the sucker off. And here we go in the second quarter as this ball is going to be returned by Brodie Norris from his 6-yard line. And he has done this before. He returned a 94-yarder last week, and he gets past Clayton Gunning. He gets a block, gets around the edge. He beats another man, and he's going to be tackled by the kicker himself. George Dutton has to make the play, and he brings him down at the 42-yard line. That's a 36-yard return, Brodie Norris. So after a 75-yard touchdown drive from these Stars, George Dutton with 4 carries on it and the touchdown, we now see this Gladiators team come out, return the ball 36 yards. They're going to start with the ball on their own 42 for the 4th drive of the game. They have had touchdown drives from 68 and 32. And here we go. Brodie Norris, man, he is magic. We've seen him deliver some magic last week. 36 yards on the return. He collected the return on the short kickoff just a few minutes ago as well. And we see Bailey McManus with 2 backs. And he hands it off to Van Veen, who gets a nice block up the front there. Some big boys there, Luke Hall. And Van Veen is off down that right side. He gets a nice block. Miller has pushed him towards the sideline. Matty Morrison does a great job creating a little extra room down that field. And he's going to get pushed out at the 16-yard line. What an incredible play. It's a 42-yard rush from Van Veen. He's already got a 46-yard rush. Four carries, 97 yards for Van Veen. That is an impact player right there as they take this and flip the entire field. They go from being receiving a kickoff on their own 6, and 2 plays later, they are in the red zone. 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. 1st and 10. Now McManus, he turns and finds that Van Veen's not there and he has to take it himself, but he's got plenty of space and he's going to be met by Gunning, who swipes at the ball. He beats Gunning before Maskell Knight just chucks him over the sideline. No worries, Maskell Knight. He carries him out at the 7. It's a really good gain, though. He's going to gain almost all of what they needed to get him a first down. It's going to be 2nd down and about Yeah, let's say it's a yard. Second down and a yard. McManus with 9 yards on the carry. And, gee, I'll tell you what, there are a few sights as frightening as just walking over to Sandy Maskell Knight to shake his hand. But I imagine, because he's huge, and man, he casts a shadow right over you if you're a little guy like me. But one of the other things that's really frightening is, I imagine, I've never had this happen, is having him bearing down on you with a helmet and shoulder pads on at speed. Seems like it'd be one of the more terrifying sights in all mankind. But here we go. We are second down and 1. You can get a first down here and still be a good 5 yards away from scoring. So they have the ball on the 7-yard line with Bailey McManus surveying that defense. He's got his line set. He's ready. He's there and drops back. He gets good blocking, but he gets it across the middle, and it's Will Bennett! Will Bennett for the touchdown, and that is going to take this score out to 20 points to 6. The first time we've seen this Gladiators team with 3 touchdowns, but there is a flag in the back of the play. What's going to happen here? Will the touchdown stand? The arms are up. Will Bennett wants it to stand. See what happens. Result of the play. Touchdown stands, and Will Bennett with his second touchdown grab of the day. The penalty coming after the play had completed. The touchdown scored and stands. We have a 20-6 ball game. We have not seen Gladiators score 3 times in the same half this season. So this is a great start for them, and it puts all the impetus on the Stars to turn this around. The Stars, they have had their opportunity to score, and they took it. They got the ball all the way down in the red zone. It took them a few goes to knock the door down. They did. That's how they got their 6. But the response here, to come down the field and in about 6 plays, go and bash up another big touchdown. Fantastic stuff from this Gladiators team as Bennett, he floats the ball in front of Butterfield, who it's a little too far in front of him. The 2-point conversion has failed. Butterfield converted one earlier today on a 3-yard run. But that one, conversion fails, and the score remains 20 points to 6. And they restore that 14-point lead. Now, that rain we had earlier has blown over now, and it is no longer raining on the field. And that wind has just dropped. Absolutely, completely different conditions to what we had 10 minutes ago. I've had a few seasons today here in the ACT. For those who think nothing happens in the ACT, check that out. Also, check out the earlier game where we had 6 turnovers and 7 total touchdowns. Incredible game for the top of the table. It was a game where there was a lot at stake, including top spot on the ladder and likely first ticket to the Capital Bowl. Both top teams play teams who aren't top next week, and you would expect them to be favourites in those. So the result today going a long way to deciding who will get first ticket into the Capital Bowl. But here we are with the Gladiators looking to get one of their 2 losses versus the Stars back today, and currently doing it in some style. The Stars beat them 22-16 in the opening game of the season. They then beat the Stars then beat the Gladiators 14-12. So currently have 18 points of for and against, but also the 2 wins. The Gladiators now have actually eaten up a lot of that for and against. And if this result stood, they would have lost the series to the Stars this year 2-1, but they would only be 4 points behind in for and against. So veteran Luke Hall is going to get us underway, and he puts that ball high in the sky. It's weird to see him wearing 53 after all these years of watching him in 19, by the way, but it is returned by Clayton Gunning. He's bringing it out from his 15-yard line, and he gets past the first of Brodie Norris's attempts, and a little bit of Toby Flynn kind of saying, I didn't block him in the back. He looks like he blocked him in the back, and that's going to come back 10 yards from where the return came out to. It looks like it was going to be about a 25-yard return, and I think we're going to see 10 yards come off that for a hold. Yeah, so I think it was Toby Flynn with the hold. He looked a little guilty as Brodie Norris fell over. He immediately threw his hand and said, it wasn't me, ref. Yeah, mate, we've seen that movie before. Yeah, the one where the wide receiver says he's not guilty of a hold. Yeah, we've seen that movie before. So, It's a time-honoured tradition for gunners on the return team. It's like, oh, ref, they just fell over. That had nothing to do with me, mate. That guy's just got no balance. He's got a middle ear infection. Didn't you know? We're going to see this ball get dragged right back to very close to where the return was started. The return was started at the 15. The hold was at the 30, so we're going to see them start this at the 20-yard line, and the Stars 80 yards to go. Let's go. We've seen him with a 75-yard drive the last time out. And Dutton just passes this one out to McGuinness. And McGuinness is going to get past the original line of scrimmage before having Panaccio have a crack at him and getting a nice bump from Joe. But Panaccio is just going to stay off the field for the meantime. I think when he landed his the sleeve in his helmet, that sort of keeps his helmet comfortable, sort of moved and blinded him for a bit there. It came down over his eyes. So he's going to take the play off because he had to take his helmet off. And we're going to have second down and 3. Second down and 7. Second down and 7. We're going to give a gain of 3 to McGuinness. Second down and 7 to go. So McGuinness has already had 7 carries in this game, and he's got 24 yards from those 7 carries. So looking nice and strong out there. As these Stars, they need to move this ball another 70-odd yards. Can they do it? As Dutton drops back and he looks across the middle, and he's got Thomas Grant over the top, but Grant kind of inexplicably stopped running and started looking at the ball, and then when he realised he had to get running again, it landed about where he would have been if he hadn't slowed down. So it's an incomplete pass, and while Grant has the only reception for the Stars today so far, that previous one to McGuinness was a backwards pass and is counted as a handoff. The third down and 7 now, we need to see them complete a good play here. A lot of pressure on trying to stay in the game now that we've seen the Gladiators have been able to score with 3 of their first 4 drives. They've had drives of 68, 32, and 58 yards for their touchdowns. And we've seen these Stars with 75 yards on their touchdown drive, their last drive, but then 7 yards on their first drive. We need to see them put some stuff together here. Dutton's looking to his left. He comes back to his right, and he can find Sam Simmons over the back. He just managed to get a little wriggle on and away from his man, number 57. I don't have a 57 here yet, but look, just a nice play to wiggle free. And he's going to catch that ball and get down the field. We're going to see it be 1st and 10 with the ball getting spotted here on the 39-yard line. So we've got a 16-yard game for Simmons, and I can't tell you how valuable it is having a guy with the experience of Sam Simmons back in your team. It gives a second completion and 41 total yards now for George Dutton. But Simmons is just the consummate he's just so great at finding space. He's such a patient runner. So we see McGuinness just work towards that right side of the line, and he is just absolutely gobbled up by that side of the defensive line. You got guys like Rowan Murphy over there. By the time the play finished too, you had Fakalolo over there as well. Really nice play. This defensive line is doing a terrific job. We aren't super surprised to see them doing a terrific job over there because they are, they've got some really big boys. They've got some strong boys over there. They spent a lot of time working on trying to plug up the run. We saw last week, it wasn't really the run that was killing them. We saw them have a much harder time against the surprising deep ball here and there. But they've got number 73 over there. I don't have a jersey number 4 either, so there's a couple I've got to get by half-time. Here come the Stars. They are in 2nd and 10. And here comes Dutton. He immediately passes it out to Hardy. Hardy catches the ball on the jailbreak. He's got a block from gunning up the sideline. But Norris just squishes him like a fly on the windscreen as he throws him over the sideline. He's going to get marked down at the 46-yard line. We are going to see this now be 4th down. And about 2 to go. A really nice play to Lockie Hardy. There we go. Lockie Hardy. So 3rd down and 2 to go. 3rd down and 2. Okay, ball's in play and got a whistle. 2-minute warning, which does sound about right. We've been working pretty hard in this game. The clock has been moving. 9-yard gain from Hardy on the last play. And we can see that this is a great opportunity for the Stars to try and use this ball all the way to half-time as McGuinness gets the ball and he immediately goes off the edge and he gets a great block and he gets around the corner and a nice block from Hardy and then he spins and defeats the tackle attempt there from our number 9 and that's Bennett. Not Red Bennett, this is Blue Bennett. Of course, that's the two Bennetts out there. We've got Fred Bennett is in the blue and of course, Will Bennett with the 2 touchdowns is in the red. And we've got a first down run, but then a penalty, and we're just going to see what the penalty is because that Mason McGuinness first down run, very important in the context of the game here. Okay, so the hold is going to be marked off from the spot of the foul. So they're not going to give him first down and then bring him back. They're going to say this is third down, and we're going to have about 5 to go. Third down and 5. So we're saying he gains about 13 and has 10 immediately erased. And here comes the pass out the side to Thomas Grant. He has to know where he is on the field. He does, and he turns upfield and gets the first down. A veteran move from Thomas Grant, and he gets the first down and gets him over halfway. Really nice play. He picks him up. Now he needed 5. He gets him 8. First and 10 now with the ball on the 48-yard line going in, and importantly gets out of bounds, stops the clock. This Stars team have timeouts, so they know that they can manipulate the clock if they need to. But they also need a score. They don't have a recognised kicker. They're going to have to find a way to get 6 before half-time in this game, where the score is currently 20 points to 6. And we are inside the 2-minute warning, but just a really veteran move from Grant there. Last 2 completions for Dutton for 9 and 8 yards, showing he can get it done in the short areas too. As Dutton gets the ball, he drops back. He's got McGuinness blocking for him. Oh, a nice pass. And he gets it over the top. And Hardy, with a great catch, is brought down on the edge of the 20. That is at the 22-yard line, a 26-yard catch for Lachlan Hardy. And that pressure, Dutton throws the ball and has his arm hit after the ball is gone. Just that moment too late to make too much impression on the way the ball was thrown, and Hardy concentrating, going up, taking contact, surviving the ground, and we're going to see the ball start on the 22-yard line after this timeout from the Gladiators, and it's going to be first and 10 with the ball on the 22, timeout Gladiators. Thomas Hardy, 35 yards on 2 receptions in this drive. They started the drive, for those who are playing at home, on the 20. They've now got the ball to halfway, so there's 30, and they've got the ball now down to the 22, so not 28. 58 of the required 80 yards. 28 to go, and we need him to get, 22 to go, and we need him to get it quickly because we're inside the 2-minute warning here of the first half. It's been a compelling first half too, with the scoring coming from the Gladiators first. Brodie Norris with a 6-yard catch, a failed completion, but it was the first pass from Bailey McManus. We'd seen a big 46-yard run on that drive from Kobe Van Veen. The next score was then again from this Gladiator side, a 29-yard catch from Will Bennett. This time the 2-point conversion from John Butterfield running in. The conversion was successful. It was 14-0. George Dutton in the second quarter scored a beautiful touchdown on a 1-yard run, a half-a-yard run. Either way, the 2-point conversion failed. It was 14 points to 6. And then most recently, we've seen a 7-yard catch from Will Bennett. He has 2 on the day. McManus has another touchdown pass. He has 3 on the day. And here we are at first and 10. Dutton looks to the side, and Panacio is the only one there. It hits him in the hands, and it hits the ground. Oh, he might have been starting to have dreams about that day against the Centurions a couple of weeks ago about what it'd be like to grab another one and take it down the other end of the field. He's already picked one out of George Dutton's hands on that 2-point conversion that was failed earlier. But, Panacio, I think if he can continue to catch those with regularity, he might be a receiver. I think that's kind of the difference here. He might not appreciate me saying that about him, actually. But we see 2nd down and 10 to go here with the ball on the 22. The rain starts again here at Greenway Oval. Just a light shower of rain if you look really closely into the shadows on the far side of the field. Going to start with this ball. Dutton, he drops back, and he's got Van Veen raining down on him. But the ball comes to Simmons, and it bounces off his shoulder pads and into the air and off the shoulder of the cornerback over there, Humphreys, and falls to the dirt. And that is going to be 3rd down and 10. Nice play. It's not Humphreys, it's Morgan Hurst. We're going to have a timeout to the Stars. That was an incomplete pass. So the clock had stopped, but in terms of getting a play together before the play clock expires, they wanted time to talk about it. And I think what you do here is you want to arm your young quarterback with 2 plays. You want to say, here's what I want you to do on 3rd. If we don't convert on 3rd, here's the 4th down play, and I want you to get him back to the line quickly. I want you to get him back to the line. I want you to call the plays we're running. I want our whole offense to hear what those 2 plays are. And I think that's how you arm yourself for success with not much time on the clock. The rain here has gone from light to steady now, and we can actually really hear it on top of the corrugated iron roof of the grandstand now as it's starting to get some steadiness about it. And on the sideline here, I can see Matt King warming his arm up with Will Bennett. Now, Matt King was 27 for the Gladiators. He's played some in the New South Wales gridiron, and the New South Wales gridiron, we've seen a few of the guys there from clubs who weren't able to get together to play in that competition this year make some starts down here. And we've also seen fellas who've played in that league just use our league as a second league to make sure they get additional game time. So it's great to have the strength of that, and I think while it is good for our league to enjoy the expertise of those players, it's also good, I think, in some ways for younger players to see these more experienced guys on the weeks that they can join, because it's sometimes there's things you can only learn when you play against someone more experienced. We're at 3rd and 10. We're out of the timeout, and here comes George Dutton. He looks to his right. He comes back to his left, and he finds Thomas Grant. He turns. Oh, it's Clayton Gunning. He's picked the pocket of the cornerback and then turned around and gone upfield and gone to the end zone. Jesse Date is left wondering what happened. That is a touchdown to Clayton Gunning, a 22-yard touchdown pass. Fantastic pass from Dutton to Clayton Gunning, and that makes it 20 points to 12, right on the edge of halftime here. And they've got a chance to bring this within 6. Two-point play. You've got Mason McGuinness way back at the tailback. You've got Dutton crouching down behind the line in a pistol formation. Grant, Gunning, Hardy are the receivers at this side of the field. And then Sam Simmons, one-on-one at the top. Dutton fakes the handoff. He's going to come out to the right side. Can he get around the corner? Bennett's got him. He gets away from Bennett. Gets away from Van Veen. He's coming back the other way. He passes the ball to Sam Simmons. It is a complete pass, but there is laundry everywhere out there. There are flags on flags on flags. So we'll see what the penalties are, but there is finger pointing. There's all sorts of stuff going on. There is a hold against the offense, and the 2-point conversion isn't going to count. And I would have loved to have seen, if that was the way the play was drawn up, how that looked in the playbook. I don't think it was. I think it was a bit of fantastic ad-libbing from George Dutton and some super calm experience from Sam Simmons to find himself open. But in some ways, no harm, no foul. It's a 10-yard penalty for a hold, but it's still a conversion. So the incomplete pass doesn't count till the starts. The penalty will take away yardage, but it doesn't affect the score. They'll get a second chance to convert this from 10 yards further out. Here comes the 2-point conversion try at a 20 points to 12 game. Dutton drops back. He's got 3 receivers at the top. He goes to Grant short, and he's going to get him to do the rest, and he slips. He slips in front of Matt Morrison. And that is the end of the play. Really nice work, too, because they've got a bit of penetration, and they forced Dutton to move that ball. Really great work by this defensive line. You see some of these guys coming off. Number 55, Kane Emery, has got to be one of the greatest war horses in this league. Gimli, who came off hurt earlier, comes back to the sideline. He's noticeably limping, but he is all heart. His heart might be bigger than the size of his brain, that bloke. And that's kind of one of the things that you see about the experienced guys on this team. So many of them are just such war horses. And in this league a long time, there's not much they haven't seen. And, mate, they know a way or two to cause pressure against young defensive lines and offensive lines. Considering these guys who play both ways, they really do. So many guys in this league have to have some time playing both ways because their teams need it. And here we go. We see ourselves in a position where it is a 20 points to 8 game. The Stars are going to kick off with not much time left here in the half. And the Gladiators we'll see how they approach this. Do they go for a flash play, or do they just run the clock and get into halftime so they can, just reassess? Don't get too carried away and get ready to come back out in the second half. We've seen McManus as well in this game. He is playing really well. He's got 3 completions, and he's already got 63 yards of offense from those 3. There have been times this year where it has been a struggle to get that many yards of passing in the whole game, so it's nice to see him have that in the half. Kyle Morris is going to come down and hold this ball on the tee for George Dutton, because that wind has picked up again down there on the field. You don't necessarily feel it up here in the stands because of the direction it's coming from, but Dutton is going to get in and kick that, and Morris watching out for his fingy things, and Matty Morrison picks this one up from the 15-yard line, and he just runs straight into Mason McGuinness. He monsters him. He's like a man holding a teddy bear. Makes Matt Morrison look nowhere near the size Matt Morrison usually is. 20 yards on the return, and I bet you he wished he didn't run in to Mason McGuinness. A Man Mountain, number 48, with the flowing locks coming out the back of that helmet. And here we go. We see this Gladiators side with the ball. This is their 5th drive of the day, starting with the ball on the nose of the ball on the 35-yard line. That was, and I've got to give some credit here, the 2 Stars touchdown drives, 70 yards, 80 yards. Fantastic ball control and really mature way to move the ball down the field. Had some nice flash plays, had some real grinded out plays, but this Stars side showing a little bit of experience even though they're so young. That rain is quite steady now as Matt King is out there. He passes to Humphries, who breaks a tackle, tries to break a second, and gets a first down. What a great play by Jake Humphries, injecting himself into the game. We're going to have a timeout to the Gladiators. It's their 2nd of the half. After a play like that, why not? A 12-yard gain. If you can get close enough to launch a bomb to the end zone, you might as well try it. And another completion for Bailey McManus, who was 4 of 5. And he's got touchdowns to Norris, Bennett, and Bennett again in this first half. It's 5 of 6, in fact. He's got 3 touchdowns, no intercepts, no fumbles. Fumbles, though. As the conditions here continue to deteriorate, ball control is going to become very important. The wind has made it a little difficult for passing, but the rain is going to make it particularly hard on ball carriers. So we'll see how that influences this game. At 20 points to 12, this Gladiators team not looking like an 0-7 team. They are looking really good out there today. The Stars side, they have been 2-5 this year. The 2 wins coming against this Gladiators side. Not looking panicked. So we see Morris come charging up, and he gets the sack on Matt King. What a great play by Kyle Morris. They knew he was coming. He came from, half a kilometre away, and he showed the blitz. He got there too early, he had to stop, and he continued to blitz, and he made the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 17 as we see Matt King, negative yardage. He gets a snap. He's going to look long across the middle. He finds Jake Humphries, and Humphries is going to be down. He gets a lot of that yardage back. He gets down to about the 14-yard line, and I just saw some hobbling there from Jake Humphries. They're going to give him 14 yards. I'm going to give him 14 yards. Nice play from Humphries. He's had 2 catches on this drive, but that one's not going to count. It's going to be holding. And we're going to march it off. We're going to repeat 2nd down. And it's now going to be 2nd and 27. Sorry, 2nd and 32. 2nd and 32. Here we go. King under the rush again, and this ball is up, and Miller does the smart thing. You don't need to intercept that. You can just hit it to the ground, and King incomplete on that one. He actually had the complete pass earlier to Jake Humphries, and now he's incomplete on that one. So 2 attempts, 1 complete. The other one was on a play where there was a penalty, so not counting that. But, gee, Matt King, they put him out there because he's got a bigger arm. He's not their first choice quarterback. McManus is their first choice quarterback, but King can give it a bit more oof than McManus can. So that's why he's out there for this drive, and he stops and he puts the ball right onto the hands of Casey. Casey's way down to halfway. What a great play as he takes the ball 22 yards to the 49-yard line. But that is going to end the half, and what a fantastic way to end the half with a 23-yard pass to Dave Casey. And that'll end it. We get into half at 20 points to 12, and it has been a very entertaining half of football. The first score came from Brodie Norris with a 6-yard catch, took them to 6-0. And then on their second drive of the game, they came another 70 yards and found themselves with a 29-yard catch for a touchdown to Will Bennett. Great work up front as we saw Butterfield followed the big 2 blockers over for a 2-point conversion to make it 14 points to 0. It wasn't too long before we saw the Stars return with a touchdown. They go and make the score 14-6 with a 1-yard Dutton run after they drove their whole way down to being right on the door. And it took them a few plays, but they got in. Next thing you see is the Gladiators responding. They get a 7-yard catch for Bennett, and the 2-point conversion fails. It takes them out to 20-6. Our most recent score before halftime was watching a 22-yard Clayton Gunning catch. Takes it to 20 points to 12. That is our halftime score. We will be back in around about 15 minutes for the conclusion of this one on a day where it was raining 2 minutes ago. It's now not raining again. We don't know what's going to happen next with the weather. We don't know what's going to happen next with the game. At the moment, it is Gladiators by 8 here at Greenway Oval. How we sounding? Sounding good? Welcome back here to Greenway Oval for the second half of a game. And you're reading this right, where the Gladiators currently lead by a score. It is 20-12. Confirmed with the umpires through halftime too. I just happened to walk past where they were talking about the score, and I was always glad to know that I've got the same score as them, as Luke Hall gets us underway, and it is received by Clayton Gunning just inside his 20, and Brodie Norris throws him out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Our touchdowns came from the Gladiators, opened the scoring with Brodie Norris himself with a 6-yard touchdown catch. The 2-point conversion failed. They then doubled that lead with a 29-yard catch to Will Bennett. John Butterfield with a 2-point conversion there, made it 14-0. We saw George Dutton run one in to make it 14-6 before that lead was restored through a 7-yard catch to Will Bennett, his second of the day. That conversion failed to make it 20-6. And then Clayton Gunning with a 22-yard catch was the last score of the half. That's how we got where we are, and we are at 1st and 10 with the ball on the 32-yard line for the Stars. Their last drives in the half, let me tell you, they were great. 75 yards and 80 yards, both for touchdowns, and here they are with the ball on their own 35-yard line. Ball hands off, and McGuinness gets a great block on the edge, gets around the corner, and he is going to be marked. He's put his foot on the sideline, but he's going to do enough to gain 7, maybe 8, let's call it 8 yards, and see 2nd and 2. Nice start to the half for Mason McGuinness. He had 36 yards on 9 rushes in the first half. That's 4 yards per carry. He comes straight out and doubles that up here on the first play. They're going to run him back actually a yard or so, but a nice block there by Jiao Lee. Number 72 got a nice block one direction, and then the other guard there, Nick Nelson, the offensive tackle Nick Nelson, pushing the other way to open that hole, and it was just fantastic work. The linemen today, doing our best to give respect to these linemen and try and name as many as we can when we see them, especially when we see them doing something good. The player who was down there was Thomas Grant. He's just kind of holding his hip. Kind of looks like he maybe got a knee or maybe landed a bit funny, but he is up and running off under his own steam, which is what we like to see. He's doing a great job. Thomas Grant has come back from an injury earlier in the year. He played the first half of their opening season game. They went on to win it, but he did a great job to get them off to that start when he started the season as their quarterback. He is now playing a bit of receiver today. He has 2 catches, but also is playing some defense, as always. He's always been a dominant defensive player. But here we go. We see this Stars team lining up now with Mason in the backfield. Dutton looking for that ball, and he looks to his right and then comes back to his left, and he gets the ball to Flynn, but he leaps forwards and hits him in the pads and drops to the ground. So it is going to remain 2nd and 2. No, it's going to drop to 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. Dutton had a nice first half. He was 5 out of 7 for 84 yards, and he drove the ball twice. Over 70 yards on each of them for touchdowns. Those 2 drives, just real mature, patient, struck a big play when one was available, and they just moved the ball with patience and method when it wasn't. And they did a good job keeping this game within reach. They've been 2 scores down twice in this game, and have brought it back to 1 score. They now have the ball on an important 3rd and 2. You do not want to be going for it on 4th down here. You want to convert this one. So here we go. Dutton drops back. He sees the opportunity to go over the top to Clayton Gunning, but it sails over his head. It was always just a little out of reach. Not a lot, but a little over reach. And they are now at 4th and 2. And I wouldn't mind seeing this one get punted away. I just kind of feel like this is a dangerous spot to be handing the ball over if you don't get it. We'll see what Coach Marshall does. When I spoke to him in pre-game, he just sung praises to his lines. He reckons that these lines have become, both his offensive and defensive lines, have become really unified as a group. They've really grown in experience. So many of these guys are playing both ways a lot as well, so they have to know a lot of both playbooks, and just being very proud of their development. You can see that. They've had 5 losses this year. And they have been in some of these games, and they've performed far better than the final score says in some of these games too. But here we are. It's 20 points to 12. It is 4th down. They need 2 yards to keep this drive alive, and they're going to go for it as George Dutton turns around, hands it off to McGuinness. McGuinness, has contact made with him, but he then bounces off and gets around the edge, gets the first down, and he's brought down by Fred Bennett. He's going to gain 6 yards there. It is going to be a 1st down and 10. Nice run by Mason McGuinness. Picks up 6 yards, moves himself on to 50 total yards on the day from his 11 carries. Very nice from Mason McGuinness. So they've gained on this drive already since the half. They've picked up from the 35-yard line where they were assessed after the kickoff return. They are now at the 49-yard line, 14 yards on these 2 rushes from Mason McGuinness. This offensive line gets itself set. Get ready. And they've got another 51 yards to go if they're going to level this game up. Dutton puts a man in motion. That is Clayton Gunning who's going to run in front of him. He fakes the handoff to him, drops back with a delayed pass, and he throws himself into the action, runs forwards. He gets 10 yards, he gets 14 yards, he gets 15 yards before he's brought down by Butterfield. Now, we've seen a flag come in late, but there was a flag right at the start of the play. You didn't see it initially because it was out of screen when the play started, but it was thrown almost immediately. And we're going to see what these 2 different fouls are. As Rowan Murphy comes off for a breather, and on goes Justin Murray in the 97. Gosh, I've had a lot of fun talking to Justin over the last couple of weeks too. He's one of these great drivers of telling me, you got to talk about the big guys more. You got to talk about the big guys more. I was talking to him half-time too, and I said, I bet you I'm saying your name a few times in the second half. He said, nah, mate. Well, here you go, Justin. I've just proved you wrong. So the call comes in from the official now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say that the players weren't set. There was motion that was a problem on the side of the Stars, but also there was a face mask by the defense at the end of the play. Both penalties are going to offset. We're going to go back and we're going to play this third down all over again. Sorry, first down all over again. The first down was from the 49. It's going to be 1st and 10. Let's pretend none of that ever happened. What do you reckon? Flags go back in pockets. So when we say a flag is down, also for those who haven't spent a lot of time around with us here at the American football, this kind of means, look, a referee's seen something they think is a penalty, and that depending on the severity of it or when it happens or what kind of penalty it is, that the play may go ahead. They may assess it after the play. But when you hear a flag on the play, it means that the referees will want to talk about something that they saw that may have been outside of the rules of the game. So far in this game, though, it's actually been relatively tidy. We've seen a couple of holding penalties on the Stars. We've seen a couple of small penalties against the Gladiators accepted. Only 7 total accepted penalties in this game so far, which is really good. That's what you want. We see the Stars team on 1st and 10. Say, trying to load up another great drive here. And Dutton gets the ball. He looks ready to pass, and he has to run like nobody's business. And that ball is flung in the general direction of Sam Simmons over here on this near side. But really nice pressure put on by that defense. And, oh, goodness, it's not every day you're going to see Stuart Cone making that sort of depth into the offensive backfield. He really had George Dutton pedaling, and it was thanks to the pressure from Stuart Cone that got him on the run and got him throwing into a dangerous position. But thankfully able to put in a spot where there was no damage done. And we're going to go to 2nd down and 10 now with the Stars and some beautiful sunshine coming out across the ground after we've had questionable weather at different times today. Hopefully this will dry some stuff out, but one thing we do know is it's going to make it fairly humid out there, and it's already pretty hot and sweaty under those pads. Here comes George Dutton with the snap, and he gets the ball across the middle, and it's slightly behind Clayton Gunning, who can't catch it, but there was nice pressure up the middle. Jersey number 77 is Malachi Fakalolo, who does a fantastic job creating that pressure up the middle. And that is going to make it 3rd down and 10 to go. A couple of incomplete passes from George Dutton. He is now 5 of 10. And he has 84 yards. 3 incomplete passes to start this second half for George Dutton. At this stage now, it looks like probably the worst of the weather is around us for the time being, so we should hope for some pretty clear conditions now. The wind has dropped as well, and that sun will make brief appearances through what is otherwise, mostly cloudy. The Stars with the ball, they're looking to be mostly sunny here on this drive as they've already got 1 first down. It is 3rd down here, and they're looking to repeat the dosage. He gets the ball over Lockie Hardy, and it is batted to the ground by Norris, who was making a play to try and intercept it. It's going to be a 4th incomplete pass to start this half for George Dutton. 4th down and 10, and we're going to see what they do here. They are just a yard away from halfway, and often what we see is, especially in situations where a team is trailing, they might just go for it and see if they can keep this drive alive. But we're going to have a timeout to the Stars to open this first half It'll be their first charge timeout for the half, the Stars. During this timeout, I just wanted to mention to our great physios, Positive Motion, who are here every week trying to help look after the well-being of our wonderful playing group. So I want a big shout out to our coaches in this league as well, and everybody who does anything within this league voluntarily to try and help keep the league going. The Gladiators do a great job looking after all the kiosk and canteen down here. If you haven't had a feed down here at the canteen, gosh, yeah, you're doing yourself wrong. Get down here to the Gridiron on a Saturday and have yourself a feed. We had ham and cheese toasties today, for goodness sake, a sausage sizzle. Felt like an absolute king. It's terrific. We'll often have a little bag of chippies or something like that down there, some Zappos, that kind of thing. Okay, let's get along. Give it a go. Nice range of cold drinks ready to go as well. The Gladiators do a wonderful job of manning that canteen every week, and they bring something different. It's a really great thing that we have down here at the Gridiron. Also, I'd like to just give the shout outs to all these coaches and officials who spend so much time trying to make sure this game is played safely and well, and that players are learning all the time. It's one of the great features of our league is the way that this game is played in such good spirit. We're at 4th and 10 with this Stars team out to try and make this first down happen. And George Dutton looked like he was going to punt it, and now he runs. He's going for the pass. He's got Thomas Grant, and Thomas Grant has the catch. He's chased down by Fred Bennett and stopped at the 10 for a 41-yard play. But there are flags at the end of this play up near halfway. What is going to happen here? Thomas Grant, last time we saw him, he was limping off. He's now back on the field and making a shock play on 4th down. And we have got too many men on the field. Illegal man downfield. Oh, and the longer a play like that goes, the harder it is as an offensive lineman to know what's happening behind you. You don't know if the punt is gone necessarily because there's a lot of noise. You don't know if you've heard the ball hit the foot. You also don't know whether it was a run play or the ball has been passed yet. There's a lot going on there, and it is not a lot of room to get to move. From where we are, the ball will have been spotted on the 49-yard line. It means you can't go past the halfway. You only get 1 yard. So illegal man downfield erases what was otherwise a fantastic play, and it's going to be 4th and 15 now. And the Stars will not be surprised if we see the pooch punt. This is a play that Coach Marshall calls where the snap is like a pass to the quarterback, but then he just drops it on the boot. There's the pooch punt right on cue, and just going to go and find the sideline inside the 20-yard line. Wow, what a crazy way to finish that drive. 14 yards on the drive as they stop on the 44-yard line. It's a 10-yard drive in the end, but that 41-yard play to Thomas Grant getting erased, oh my gosh. We might be talking about that one later on as this game marches on because it is a close contest out there. Now, the Gladiators, they lost their last 3 coming into this one. In fact, they haven't won a game on the season, but their last 3 that had a 43-0 loss to the Wolves, they were beaten by the Stars in a really close 14-12 game. And then last week, they really gave it to the Wolves in the first half before falling behind 56-12. But this Gladiator side out there today, it's the second time this season we've seen them with a good lead. And I got to tell you, I copped a lot of flack for this today, but I turned up in my Gladiators jersey. I've been trying to get around and sport the merch from the different teams. And last week I was in Wolves gear. This week I'm in Gladiators gear. I've had a week in Stars gear. So, I cop a bit of flack from the 3 teams whose gear I'm not wearing, but I try and be fair about it. Bailey McManus hands the ball off to Van Veen, who gets a great series of blocks up ahead from that line. Fantastic work. As you see, Tom Stevenson, Luke Hall, all the way downfield, and a nice bit of work opening that hole up. Also in there, we saw 68. Don't have a name on 68, but just great work as Van Veen charges forward, goes from being 1st and 10 to being 2nd and 4. Nice run from Van Veen. He has got practically 100 yards on the day already. It looks like he's bang on 100 yards from his 5 carries, which is incredible. He had a 46-yard rush on the first drive. He had a 42-yard rush late in the half as well. 100 yards on 5 carries for Kobe Van Veen. 2nd down, 6 to get. McManus gets the ball. He drops back on the short drop because he's already in pistol. And time runs out. Time runs out. Great job by that defensive line. We see Zhao. Oh, sorry. No, that isn't Zhao. We've got number 79 is Dinsa Hafali. And he does a fantastic job getting in there and causing some havoc. He's joined by Sandy Maskell Knight at the end. But how about that from Dinsa? Give that guy some love. One of our Sikh brothers is Manjot. He loves seeing Dinsa get out there and cause some havoc. But that makes it now 3rd down and 13 to get. They wipe 7 yards off and make McManus backtrack his whole way back. And that is his first rush of the half, I guess, if you call sack a rush. He'd managed just as many as 4 total yards rushing on his 3 attempts in the first half, McManus. So it puts him in negative yardage on the day. 3rd and 13, an important play as McManus comes out on this option play. He cuts back inside. He's got plenty of room. He's going to get the first down before he's knocked over by Kyle Morris. And there was some attack at the legs there too by Clayton Gunning. A really nice play. And Bailey McManus is going to move the chains. Gets the ball up to the 40. Just a really nice run. It's 17 yards on that run from Bailey McManus puts them at 1st and 10. 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. And here we go. They are surveying what's there. So McManus turns and he hands it off to Van Veen, who straight into the gap, but McGinnis is very fast to jump on him. So is Kyle Morris, and he brings him down. But Van Veen, he decided where he wanted to run, and he made the one cut and ran downhill, and he's going to pick up 6 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 4 yards to go with the ball on the 46. 2nd and 3 yards to go with the ball on 47. We'll give him credit for 7 yards. Van Veen, 13 yards on his 2 rushes here in the second half on this drive, and they've been using him in little spots. They haven't used him every time. They've used a lot of Butterfield, who had 7 carries in the first half as well, while Van Veen had 5. And Butterfield also had a pretty good day of it. He's found his way to get a whole bunch of yards, and I love the power with which he runs. But gee, Van Veen looking really strong out there as a complementary back. Gladiators now get set, surveying what's going to happen, and Morris looks like he was going to blitz, and then he comes out to play a bit of zone, and whoa, nice hit on the catching player as Grant Clark gets in there and gives John Butterfield a whole bunch to think about. It's going to be an incomplete pass attempt from Bailey McManus. And that brings up 3rd down and about 4 to get. John Butterfield with 27 yards rushing to complement all the yards we've seen Van Veen get. Van Veen has 110 yards rushing and 27 for Butterfield. So nice compliment to the explosiveness of Van Veen. He'll just be a gritty yard getter. McManus drops back. He's looking to pass. The pocket's collapsing and Clark gets across in face. But nice pass across the middle to, guess who? Jake Humphries, who does a beautiful job. He goes and picks up 15 yards. And we're going to find ourselves in a 1st down. And that ball's going to get spotted at the 44-yard line. So here we go. The drive is on. Nine-yard catch for Humphries. He gets 5 yards past the line to gain, but now we're already in 3rd and about 4 to get. So here we are at 1st and 10, and these Gladiators just doing a nice job moving the ball slowly, getting the ball down this field. They've had 6 or 7 first downs today. They're really getting this offense together. McManus doing a nice job as he drops back. He's looking to pass, but the time runs out and Maskell Knight gets him, but not before Morris could get a piece of him too. And that is going to be a sack again. He's going to lose 6 yards. Bailey McManus, life has been tough on him out there. Yeah, that really nice gain earlier, but that getting wiped out there. And that ball's going to get spotted back right on midfield. And isn't it just such a contrast? Before halftime, we had a stage where that judge had to hold the ball between his ankles. Such was the wind and the rain. And now look at it. Still, clear, sunny. Just another perfect day in paradise here in Canberra. Beautiful one day, perfect the next, they say. I think that might be Queensland. But see Bailey McManus getting ready under centre. And he drops back to pass. But there is a flag on the far side of the field. We've got some movement, so we're just going to see which way this is. It's going to be a false start against the offense, which I think we kind of expected that was the way it was going to go. 5 yards. It's now going to, instead of being 2nd and 16, it's going to be 2nd and about 21. So I reckon McManus, who came into the half with 4 out of 6 and 3 touchdowns, he's now, and he had 70 yards of passing in the first half. Sorry, 82 yards passing in the first half. He's now completed 1 across the middle for Humphreys. And, Van Veen. He followed his blocking, and it was great blocking up front. You can see not only was the 77, and also Kane Emery in there blocking away, doing a great job. Luke Hall, just the usual engine room that you might expect. Kane Emery. These guys made a great job of pushing forward, and they've gained about 4 yards. We're going to see this being about 3rd and 17 now with the ball marked at the 49-yard line. They're going to have to do a lot to get this right, but given they're around midfield, given they've got the lead, if they don't complete here and get a new set of downs on this play, you'd still expect them to go for it on 4th down. Just because, if they can soar off a bit on this play, and it gives them the impetus to give that a go. If they can't, they'll probably punt. But here goes the handoff to Van Veen. And Van Veen, he's kind of run out of space. There's nowhere to go. Just really great defensive penetration by the Stars. Really great defensive penetration. You may well celebrate. That's Guan Yusan getting up celebrating. And well might you, mate. What a great piece of defensive work to get in there. The clock ran out. They now drop back those yards that they picked up. And they're going to be 4th and about 19 to go. Now's where I would punt it. If you get some positive yardage on that, you get yourself back to, say, 4th and 10. Don't mind going for it at that point. But at 4th and 19, you just got to punt this away, preserve your lead. Don't invite the opponents down your end. You saw them drive really well in the first half. They had an 80-yard and a 75-yard drive to end the half in scoring. So you just don't want to invite them down while they've been able to do that. This half, their opening drive wasn't as successful. They did have a tougher time moving the ball. And by the time they had some penalty yards in there, they really only moved the ball about 10 yards. But you yourself, you've moved the ball from your own 20 now to what is the 47-yard line. You've had a 27-yard drive. Nice way to end this with punting it away and just making sure you give your defense the most field to keep the Stars out of your end zone. Here comes the punt, the lefty torpedo punt. It's going to roll towards the sideline and go out around the 25-yard line. It's a really nice punt from Jesse Date, and that will bring the end to that drive, a 27-yard drive. And we're going to see the Stars come back out here to start their 5th drive of the day. Now, only their 5th drive of the day. They had 3 drives the entire first half for a couple of reasons. Their first drive, they stalled, only got 7 yards off it. They then didn't get the ball back to start a second drive until after the Gladiators had scored. Then they recovered a kickoff, and then they had another drive. So they kind of had a possession stolen off them without creating a turnover. The Gladiators were just good enough to create an extra possession. But then when the Stars did get possession, their next 2 drives were long drives. They had up a lot of clock, and they got touchdowns from them, most importantly. So this is why they're only coming out now for their 5th drive of the game, because they've had 1 drive to start the second half. And we are in the middle to late stages of this third quarter, and George Sutton hands off. McGuinness gets great blocking up the middle from Clark and Co. Excellent stuff, and he gets out a good 6 or 7 yards, looking really strong there. Let's give him 6. McGuinness now out to 60 yards of rushing today for Mason McGuinness. They hurry up to the line. And they're just going to repeat the dosage. An excellent block by, that's Zhao Li with the great block opening that hole. And he's going to get the first down, plus. He's going to go out and get about 8 yards. And all of a sudden now he's 66 yards rushing on the day. Mason McGuinness looking fantastic after 13 rushes. That's a first down and another great first down for them. They've had so many on the day so far because they've just been able to pick them up in dribs and drabs. That is the first of what we hope will be a couple on this drive if they're going to get down and score. George Dutton drops back, looks to his left. He hits Thomas Grant. Thomas Grant can evade the first tackle. He's now going to go close to the marker. Did he get a first down before Brodie Norris pushed him out? We'll have to see where he gets spotted here, but it looks like he's going to get given the first down, 10 yards. Great play by Thomas Grant. Very savvy rookie play. And now we see Dutton, 6 of 12. He's completed a couple of extra passes here. He's got to 94 yards. Looking good. That's a second first down in as many plays, and then 9th on the day. Here comes Dutton. He turns, and it looks like McGuinness has gone to the other side. He has to make a little bit of magic. He does. He comes close to the line, throws down the field, and Lockie Hardy does a great job to make sure Fred Bennett can't take that intercept. I'm not sure he knew he had footsteps behind him, because Lockie Hardy, a smaller bloke, doesn't maybe make as much sound as some of these good blokes who sound like a pack of horses running at you when you can't see them, but does a good job to break that up and save an intercept, a potential intercept. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 now for these Stars who are on their way in. They are on the 46-yard line. And just some really inspired play there by Dutton, who, even though that play broke down, he got that snap and he turned to his right. McGuinness had gone to his left. He still made something useful out of it and gave his team a chance. And no harm, no foul, as it just turns out an incomplete pass. They're going to send Clayton Gunning in motion in front, and they fake it to him, but then they hand it back to McGuinness, and he's got great blocking down that side. It's Simmons, and it's Clark who's provide the block, and Mason McGuinness shrugs off Bennett and scores the 46-yard rushing touchdown. What a play by Mason McGuinness, and that brings the score to 20 points to 18 with a 2-point conversion to potentially tie this game. Unbelievable play. Mason McGuinness, great blocking by Sam Simmons, who just drove his end right out of the way. Grant Clark on that left side as well, doing a great job creating space. And then Mason McGuinness does the rest, shoves off the man in the secondary, turns and gets his motor up and running again, completes the touchdown run. And here we are with a chance to potentially see a tie game after this Stars team have twice trailed by 2 scores. Here we go. They haven't completed a 2-point conversion today. Dutton turns, hands to McGuinness. McGuinness is going to go up the middle. He's got to try and fall forward. He cannot. He has been denied. And the score here remains 20 to 18. The Gladiators. The Gladiators finish the quarter. That was that last whistle there. Is the quarter to end the 3rd period of play here. 3 touchdowns. All 2-point conversions have failed for the Stars. Only one has been successful for the Gladiators, but that's the difference in this ball game as we head into the final quarter of this game with the Stars kicking off to the Gladiators. And that stolen possession, that might be such a huge story in this game. The 4th down where we saw George Dutton pass to Thomas Grant that was then called back on a holding call. There have been so many things when you're in a 1-score game like that, and we're just one small thing is the difference between the teams. There are so many times you can go back and go, well, gee, did that influence the outcome? Gee, did this influence the outcome? It's almost like that flap of a butterfly's wings causing a tornado in the Himalayas. It is difficult sometimes to unpick which was the most important play. But here we go, a 20 to 18 game. We're going to see the Stars kick off from the 35-yard line down to 2 returners. You've got Van Veen on the left. Don't want to kick it to him. You've got Brodie Norris on the right. Don't want to kick it to him. So I reckon you just got to try and get as much of this leather and try and get it into that end zone if you can for George Dutton. We see McManus and King, the dual threats at quarterback for this Gladiators team. Both of them getting ready to come on. So we'll see who starts as we see Dutton bash this one downfield. It takes a bounce to Van Veen. He fumbles it once. He fumbles it twice. He falls over it but doesn't touch it until he's standing back up again. So he's allowed to return and he gets bumped out of bounds. Nice play by Lockie Hardy and Kyle Morris pushing him out at the 22-yard line. And this is where we're going to see Do they have a 78-yard drive in them? That's what they're going to need if they want to restore a lead with some comfort. They currently have a 2-point lead, but neither team have been super successful at completing their 2-point conversions. A touchdown here would restore 8 points. A touchdown plus any kind of conversion would make that so much harder, and that's the order that we see the Gladiators need to fulfill now. I mean, they must be having a little bit of a nervous thought about what happened back in week 6 when they carried a lead. They carried a lead into the fourth quarter last time we saw these two teams play, and the Gladiators were run down. They by 12 points going into the fourth quarter, and the Stars emerged with a victory. Stay tuned. We cannot wait to see how this one's going to end. The Gladiators line up. Luke Hall at center. Matt King is the quarterback. Butterfield in the backfield, and they come out with 3 receivers, and Bennett playing the tight end as they flip this ball out to Butterfield coming the right side, and Morris, I saw him do this a minute ago, throw someone over the sideline near the 23. He pushes him out for a 1-yard gain. It will be 2nd and 9, and a single-yard gain for John Butterfield, 28 yards from his 7 carries today. It is all to do for the Gladiators to try and make sure that they put up another score, try and preserve the lead they've got, extend it again and provide some comfort, because they will be nervous about the Stars team making an indentation into this lead like they already have in the second half. It was 20 points to 12 at halftime. Our only score in the second half has been that 46-yard Mason McGuinness run. We've got a false start here. It's going to go back another 5 yards. We're going to see a big 2nd and 13 here on the 5-yard penalty for the false start. It's only the 5th penalty we've seen against this Gladiators team today. 3 of them for false start, and 1 of them just for an illegal procedure from a kickoff. So they've been really just small procedural penalties. They've been pretty disciplined, really, which is great to see. And they're going to come out now on 2nd and 13. They've got Humphreys and Casey nearest to us here. Bennett in the red helmet at the top of their line. Matt King looks out this way to Humphreys. Humphreys catches, rolls. He's just going to get enough yardage to bring it back to being and 10, I'd say. Looks like about right. They'll give him an extra yard. It is going to be 3rd and 9 yards to go. Jake Humphreys, lovely little catch. He's his 4th on the day. He has 37 yards receiving today. Nine complete passes today for these Gladiators quarterbacks. And they've done it from just 12 attempts. Matt King back there on 3rd and 9. Drops back. He sees over the top that he's got Bennett, and Bennett gets it over 2. Sets him outstretched hands, and Bennett gets over halfway. Nice tackle at the end by Sun, but that is a bullet. Right over the top, he gets it over 2 outstretched hands of defenders, and just to a spot where only his man can get it. Will Bennett, another great catch, but have a look at what's going on in the backfield. It's going to be nullified by a penalty for holding against the offensive team here, and they are going to get marched back. It was 3rd and 9. It's going to be 3rd and 19. Oh, my goodness. That play was going to change this game entirely, put them at half field. Going in with a lead, now they find themselves backed up right on the edge of their 10. And they get them in a position where if they can't get it back to about 4th and 10 to go, like you don't have any other option but to punt it. You might even just want to punt it even if you're more than 4th and 5. You just can't really invite this Stars team in when they've got the only points of the half. Let's have a look at that offensive line they've got out there now. You've got Stevenson, Hall, 77, and Emery out there, and they get a pass across the middle. It's to Jake Humphreys. Humphreys has to belt and scramble to try and get past Henry Bridgestock. He does enough to get him back to being about 4th and 8, 4th and 7. So just a nice play for Humphreys, a 12-yard gain. And another nice pass from Matt King, who's now 3 of 4. Jake Humphreys with his 5th catch on the day, approaching 50 yards in receiving. In fact, I'm going to put him at 51 yards. Just between you and me, Jake. 51 yards receiving. And, mate, look, we are at about a 4th and 7, and the game situation here is you've got Jesse Date. He's their coach. He's their punter today. You have to kick this away. You have to kick this away, not because you're surrendering, but because you need to play the field position game. Here comes the punt. We've got a flag at the time the ball was snapped, and that punt is going to go out of bounds just on the Stars side of halfway. So we'll see what this flag is. But, gee, you might want to take the result of the play. If this isn't dead before the play, you might want to take the result. Because you're going to get the ball right on the 49-yard line going in. Yeah, here we go. It's a false start. We're going to take the result of the play, and I think you should. It's a first down, so it's a false start penalty, but not accepted. So we aren't adding that as a penalty against the Gladiators. But, gee, in this game now, if I had seen everything I'd seen, and I came to this game right now and I said, you got to pick a team. Which team would you rather be? Would you rather be in the lead? Or would you rather be the team who've got the ball at the 49-yard line going in who are trailing? Mate, I've got the unscore of the half. Maybe I want to be the Stars. They've got a little bit of momentum. They've had some really nice long drives in this game. Their last drive took them all the way in for a touchdown from, again, 70-plus yards. All their touchdown drives have come from distance today, so maybe I'd like to be them. They're on the 49-yard line going in. Here we go. The handoff to Mason McGuinness. McGuinness is going to hit the line and then turn and start twisting and try and get any yardage he can. He can't get any yardage. It's going to be 2 yards. Second down and 8 to go. Nice work from McGuinness, who, mate, he'd already been having a nice day. He was already at 64 yards, and he goes and peels off a 46-yarder. Gets himself to 110 yards on the day. He's now 112 on the day from 15 carries. Plus that touchdown. He's been an invaluable member of this offense since TJ Lever hasn't been in the roster for a few weeks now, and they really needed some spark. Well, last week, McGuinness had 6 carries for 79. This week, 15 carries for 112 and a touchdown. Just looking like a tough man to bring down and playing a bunch of defense out there too. George Dutton stops back. He immediately looks to his left. Pump fakes, comes back to his right. And he had Miller going across the middle, but the ball was low and inside. It's going to be third down now and 8 to go. This is the first time all day either team has started to drive. It's the first time the Stars have started to drive inside Gladiators territory. We've seen the Gladiators start a drive on the 32-yard line. They led 6-0 at the time. They extended that lead to 14-0. So we'll see if drives starting in your opponent's territory are 100% touchdown drives, as Dutton on 3rd and 8 drops back. There's some defensive penetration, but he throws the ball over the middle. And Joe Bamanamoy almost had that intercept right on the 40-yard line as it bounces off. It almost looks like he out-jumped and hit him in the wrist almost. It was nice piece of play, a heads-up play, and he just watched that thing the whole way. As the ball was, it was absolutely intended to go to the man on the crossing route. They'd done a good job clearing the space, but I think maybe Dutton had just failed to see Amanamoy across the middle as he was targeting Simmons. It's 4th and 8. We've got a timeout to the Stars. It's their second timeout of the half. We'll also take a breather for a sec. We're talking about where you can find me when I'm not here. I help present a bit of Aussie Gridiron today, where we talk about the goings-on in the ACT League and news from other gridiron leagues across Australia on the Aussie Gridiron Network. You'll also find me on the Aussie Gridiron Network on both the NFL Supercoach Halfer, which is the Supercoach platform of fantasy football in Australia, has added an NFL game for the first time this year. Taylor and I help take you through all the changes as it evolves through the season of NFL Supercoach. You'll also find Taylor and I on the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. 6 years of putting that show together. We play plenty of games. We talk about star players. We talk about players to help improve your lineups and help players win their leagues. Come and find us on the Aussie Gridiron Network everywhere that you can get a podcast. But also I want to shout out my mates at G'day Gridiron. They do a lot of NFL analysis. Ian, Brad, Nick, Isaac, the boys do a great job there. They come out midweek with the reaction show and preview the Thursday night game. They then also talk about the 4 games that you must watch on the Sunday slate. plus a Monday Night Football preview. Find that all on the Aussie Gridiron Network, where you find me, Matty C. We are here, 4th down and 8. A very important play in the context of this game, because do you go for it? Do you pooch punt it? What are we going to see? We see Dutton drop back. He's not going to punt this. He's going to run. He's going to get around the outside. He's now going to find Panaccio in his face. He beats Panaccio, cuts inside. He's going to get a first down. He beats Bennett. He gets bumped out of bounds by Brodie Norris, and a great hit. But he is going to get the first down and about 10 yards. What a great play by George Dutton, and he looks a little bit winded over there. So we'll see how he goes. He's going to take a breather. Coach Marshall's over there just checking in with him, seeing what they're going to do about this, because the second recognised quarterback will be Thomas Grant. But he's going to go back out. George Dutton does a great job. He goes and picks up 18 yards on that one, and the ball is going to be spotted here on the 30-yard line. George Dutton has dug him out of trouble a couple of times. He's got 3 rushes for 15 yards or more. He's got their 1-yard touchdown rush in that first quarter as well, when they were trailing by 14-0. And here he is, playing tough. Thomas Grant is at the bottom of the screen here as one of the 3 receivers with Clayton Gunning and Jacob Miller. At the top of the screen, Sam Simmons in the red helmet. Mason McGuinness with the red helmet in the backfield. Gets the handoff. He gets a great block. He goes charging through a hole. He's going to try and get past Fred Bennett again. He keeps on running and running and running and running. Is he going to get pushed all the way in? I think he is. Greg Clark pushes into the post. He's in for the 30-yard touchdown run. And the Stars lead this game. Unbelievable run. Mason McGuinness with all the help there from his wide receiver. Grant Clark comes charging from the other side of earth to try and help push him in. He understandably needs to take a seat. I think he's earned it. That is a 30-yard touchdown run to complement his 46-yard touchdown run from earlier. And the Stars lead this game for the first time, 24 points to 20, with a 2-point conversion to come, an important 2-point conversion. They need this to install a 6-point lead and give themselves a little breathing space against this Gladiators outfit. Oh my goodness, so Mason McGuinness, he took that handoff, he found great space, an incredible block to get him the space, and then just will and amazing teamwork as his team helps push him through. A great block immediately he got from the edge to just seal that edge and give him the space. Bennett made contact with him about 15 yards out, and from there it was just all of the push from the team. We saw Grant Clark, what he's doing 30 yards downfield without, I don't know how he got down there so fast without a bike, but he does this. He just finds it within himself to do these things. You meet him on the sideline after the game, and the guy can barely walk, but you see him do things like that. McGuinness just drags Bennett with him over into the corner for that touchdown, along with Morgan Hurst, who was down there trying to guard a corner against a wide receiver. And here we are with a 2-point conversion from the 3-yard line to make this a 6-point game. Dutton hands off to Toby Flynn, and Toby Flynn, he gets swung around by Butterfield, but he can't get in. And that is a 4th failed 2-point conversion today. But this team will not go away. The Stars trailed at halftime 20-12. They now lead 24-20 at the midpoint of this 4th quarter. And they now have it all to do to try and preserve this 4-point lead, because it's not a safe lead. It's not a safe lead. There is no recognised kicker on either side. So a field goal, not a threat. You can't come back with 2 long field goals. You need a touchdown, but they are very vulnerable to a touchdown, because 4 points will not hold out a touchdown. This is it. Half a quarter of this game to go. It is just what we expected, isn't it? Nobody thought this game was going to be a blowout one way or the other. Both teams were up for it. Both teams knew that this is what we were going to be up for today. You can see this Gladiators team, Justin Murray in the middle of that defensive front line, say, "Get up here, boys. We need this ball. We need it in good field position." I hear you, Justin. We know what you mean. This Gladiators team, I'm up here in my Gladiators shirt, just hoping to inspire a little bit of a fight back now that they've found themselves behind for the first time today after leading by 2 scores 2 separate times. At one stage, this game was 20 points to 6. And now we find ourselves in a 24-20 game where the Stars have come back and put on 3 touchdowns in a row. Unbelievable stuff to turn this game around. A 22-yard catch from Clayton Gunning, and then McGuinness with 46 and 30-yard touchdown runs that will be living long in the memory And we get this kick. It's not fielded correctly by the Gladiators. It's back. It's fourth. Who's got the ball? We've seen a flag coming late from the line judge, and we're going to need to get to the bottom of this and work out who's got possession. The Gladiators think they've got it. 73 has emerged with the ball in his hands. Looking for a signal from our white cap referee. I don't believe it until the white cap says so. But it looks like it's going to be Gladiators' ball on the 46-yard line. It is. The white cap referee of Sean Dove tells us so. And here we go. A fourth touchdown drive for these Stars. Of their last 5 drives, 4 have been touchdowns. 3 of them have been from more than 70 yards. The last one started inside the half, attacking half against the Gladiators. It's the only time they've started a drive inside the opponent's half, and they did it from as far out inside the opponent's half as you can at 49 yards. And we've got a personal foul at the end of the play, which is marching this ball downfield. And the Stars team, it is incredible to think that they've come from 4 touchdowns. They've come from 3 touchdowns behind, and now here they are with the lead. But they've just invited the Gladiators in. They're going to start with the ball now, not on the 46, but on the 31. On the 31. This is the shortest drive, potentially, they're going to have all day to score. They scored from a 32-yard drive on the second drive of the game when they led 6-0. Both times teams have had a drive starting in each other's half. They have turned into touchdown drives as McManus pitches to Butterfield here on the 1st and 10 play. And Butterfield cuts inside and gets 10 more. Looked like he was going to get pushed out right around the 6 or 7 yards gained. He's going to pick up 16 and gets brought down on the 21-yard line, 15 yards. For John Butterfield, it is his longest rush of the day. It takes him to 44 yards rushing for the day. Well done, John Butterfield. 1st and 10. Here come the Gladiators. They pitch it the other way. What a stiff arm to the face of Thomas Grant, but he's got a long way to go to get back to the line of scrimmage. Butterfield cannot. Great job by Grant to slow him down enough. Then guys like Morris and Bridgestock and Sun come across to complete the tackle. Lovely work from Ricky Edmonds in there. Sorry, Yeehan's son, number 60, Yeehan's son in the red helmet. Great job here by the big men to chase down that play. And he gets brought down 2 yards further back. It's going to be 2nd down and 12 to get. Negative 2-yard run. Brodie Norris comes into the backfield now as the running back, and we've seen what he can do. He's only had the 1 carry today for -1, but he had 3 for 48 last week. The guy could do a lot, and he comes out. It's going to be the same play again. They're going to go the option to the left-hand side. Nice block from Banners. Norris gets around to the corner. He's in. He's in for the touchdown, but there are flags on the play. Back about where the block on Bennett was. We're going to see if this play's going to stand. It's going to be against the Gladiators for holding. And that touchdown is not going to stand for Brodie Norris. And Will Bennett, who's had 2 touchdowns today, is the reason this touchdown comes off the board. Maybe it was the reason it was a touchdown to begin with, because that block happened a long way out from the corner. And if he doesn't hold him, maybe one of those guys affects the tackle. But they're going to lose 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It looked like he was going to gain maybe a yard. And then a 10-yard penalty for holding. It is the first time we've had a holding penalty against the Gladiators. Stand up. And here we are. 2nd down and 21 to go. 2nd and 21 for this Gladiators team. So rain starts again, and oh no! Bailey McManus has turned to his right. Norris has gone to his right. He's turned to his left and just thrown it there, expecting him to be there. And the play results in a fumble recovered by the Stars. That has got to be about the 2 most disheartening things that could happen to the Gladiators. One play after another. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Stars. But McManus just throws the ball to his left, expecting Norris to be there. Norris isn't there. A play after Norris had the touchdown taken away from him by holding from Will Bennett. And now the Stars start with the ball on their own 35. A drive that just couldn't have gone from better to worse in 2 plays. And the frustration is obvious. Dave Francis comes to the sideline, takes his helmet off, just lets it fall to the ground. He's in he's in agony from all the effort these offensive linemen put into trying to make those plays happen, to now find themselves off the field from a fumble and a drive that loses them 4 yards and possession. Dutton drops back. He goes long to Clayton Gunning, and it's going to be intercepted by Fred Bennett. One Bennett to another. It's intercepted. He's going to be brought down at the 37-yard line. It's the first turnover of the game for the Gladiators. Wow. Now, I'm going to be on ice tomorrow for this voice after the way this second half, especially the fourth quarter, is turning out. An intercept by Fred Bennett undoes the fumble just a play earlier from Bailey McManus that was collected by Grant Clark. And here we go, the Gladiators back with the ball. They've lost some yardage, but they've got the ball. And would you rather that you had the ball? Yeah, of course you would. And they're going to start with the ball on the 37-yard line after that intercept by Fred Bennett. And here we go. Bailey McManus, he's got wing backs. He hands it off to Van Veen. Van Veen cuts inside the block by Luke Hall, and he's going to be tackled by Sandy Maskell-Knight and brought down inside the Stars territory. He's going to gain 24 yards on that play and be down at the 44-yard line. Van Veen now has 134 yards rushing on 7 attempts. What a great block by Luke Hall, one direction to open that play up. Have to get the number plate from our second blocker there in a second, but what a great play. And here we are on the 44-yard line going in 1st and 10. Great player penetration by Morris. A handoff was not made to Butterfield, but the tackle on Butterfield forces Bailey McManus to have to push him forward, and he gets himself almost back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down and 11, and Butterfield loses a yard on that one. It looks like our second blocker on that one that opened the play right up was Tommy Stevenson, 69. The big broad shoulders of Tommy Stevenson blocking one way, Hall blocking the other. And they opened a hole the size that you could have put an asteroid through that. But when you put Kobe Van Veen through it, 24 yards. They're right on the attack here with the ball on the 45 as the rain continues to fall here. Not a lot of wind, but plenty of rain now. And McManus with a single back gets the ball into his right hand. He looks down the field. There's not a lot there, so he's going to take off and run. He's hoping for a block, but Hardy comes up to tackle him. He escapes the tackle, gets over the sideline. He's going to gain about 4 yards. Looks at 5 yards maybe. It looks like it'll be 3rd and around about 6 to get. 3rd and 7 to get. Nice run from Bailey McManus to gain those 4 yards. 3rd down. 7 to go. I treat this like a 2nd down. I'm trailing. If I can get close, any positive yardage here, I'm definitely going for it. It would only be if I get knocked backwards that I might consider a punt, but I'm starting to run out of time. I've only got a few minutes here to go in the 4th quarter. I don't know how long my offense will be on the field for again if I don't keep this drive alive now. Gee, Morris is creeping away from the corner. He's going to come hard on a blitz from the edge here, and he does. He gets right around the edge, so they're going to run away from him, and McManus is still going to get caught by Morris from the side. He has a great tackle from 61 is Clark, who made the first contact. McManus is going to get 5 yards. It's going to be 4th and 2 when we resume. And we're going to have a timeout one way or the other. It's going to be a injury timeout as Clark is down. Nice work by Clark to make the tackle. Morris made some contact as well. And we're going to have water out on the field here before a important 4th down. This game, the Stars lead 24-20. How did we get here? They trailed 20-6. And in this end of the first half, we saw them score thanks to a great 22-yard catch by Clayton Gunning. In the second half, we've seen 2 touchdown runs from Mason McGuinness. You won't see touchdown runs like that again this season. They were both big contact, big holes, then big contact, and then just who wants it more. 18 points since we last saw this Gladiators team score. McManus with a little word in his ear from John Butterfield, who's standing almost directly behind him, 2 yards deeper than him. 4th and 2, you got to have it here. They drop back. Butterfield is the blocker, and McManus up the middle gets the first down. Oh my goodness, they needed that like nobody's business, and they are going to pick up 4 yards on that 4th and 2. And here we go, 1st and 10. And the ball is going to be spotted on the 31-yard line. We've been here before. This is where they started their last drive from. That last drive that ended in that horrendous fumble where Grant Clark was Johnny on the spot and picked up the loose ball. And here we are. Gladiators, 31 yards away, try 4 with the first down. And here comes McManus. He's got the option. Simmons just goes and cleans out the rusher. But here goes McManus around the corner. He's got some space. He's going to get bumped out inside the 10. That is a gain of more than 20 yards. A nice play by this corner on the near side to bump him out. But it's not before there's a lot of damage done. McManus has got the ball. He's going to be spotted inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line. That's a 24-yard gain. An incredibly good play because the option was, do I pitch it? Do I keep it? Immediately, Sam Simmons helps him makes the choice because Simmons goes and cleans out the back just to make sure that that threat is taken away, knowing he's got guys inside of him. But he didn't know how far away from McManus those guys inside of him were. And McManus goes and makes 24 yards. This is a 1st and goal on the 7-yard line. 1st and goal on the 7 for this team. And we've got a 2-minute warning. Oh, my goodness. Matt King comes in at quarterback now. Bailey McManus has had rushes of 4, 5, 4, and 24 on this drive. 39 yards from the legs of Bailey McManus, who only had 3 rushes in total in the first half, 7 in the second half. As King, he stands, he watches, he gets the ball over the top, it hits Will Bennett in the left hand. Can't get a second hand on it. Incomplete. 2nd down. And goal to go from the 7. Oh my gosh. We are just inside 2 minutes to go in this game that is so important for the Gladiators. They came into this game winless through 7 games. They said to me before this game, no more. We want to win today. We think we're good enough. They've got 20 points on the board, and Matt King is looking for a way to get him a touchdown. He throws it, Jack Humphreys, who has a touchdown. He gets away from Henry Bridgestock. He gets up. He rules. Well, may you, Jake Humphreys, for his 6th catch of the day. That one is for a 7-yard touchdown. And the Gladiators take the lead, 26-24. They need a conversion. They need a conversion. They need to make sure you can't just magic up a kicker out of nowhere and hope to put over a field goal late. They need to make sure this is a 4-point lead. Mate, I've seen George Dutton do some stuff. If you told me you could kick a field goal, I'm not someone who would say that you're a liar. I reckon he could probably give it a go. He's done everything else for this Stars team over time. He's returned punts. He's had blocked punts where he's picked it up and returned it for touchdowns. He's been a linebacker. He's been a tight end. He's been quarterback. Here we go. The Gladiators line up with their jumbo formation. And we've got penalty against these Gladiators. It's going to roll it out to the 8-yard line instead of the 3-yard line. Does anyone else feel dizzy? This has been a heck of a game. 26-24. 2-point conversion from the 8. A 4th passing touchdown, this time from the hand of Matt King. to Jake Humphreys. Bailey McManus out there. He's going to look to pass. He is coated in pressure by Kyle Morris. The pass falls incomplete harmlessly to the feet of Jake Humphreys, but it doesn't matter. This is a 2-point lead. It was already a lead to the Gladiators. They retain the lead because they have the only successful 2-point conversion of the day. It was a John Butterfield run in the second quarter. And here we go. Stars with it all to do. Less than 2 minutes left in this game. They're going to start with the ball if they can retain possession from this kickoff. We've already seen the Gladiators go a short kickoff and recover it from Brodie Norris in the second quarter. What other magic do we have here late in the fourth quarter in a game with the Gladiators lead 26 to the Stars 24? My goodness, this game has taken some turns. See Matt King and Jake Humphreys down here in the foreground celebrating. They're really happy about the state of this game. We are live with a kickoff here from Luke Hall. He's going to want to send this sucker as deep as he can because he doesn't want Clayton Gunning returning on him. He's also got Kyle Morris back there, who maybe he's out there more as the blocker than the returner, but gee, Luke Hall will have seen that, and he puts it long. And he's hoping for Gunning to return it. Gunning is going to return it. And Norris is going to help block for him. And he gets a block to the right side. And then all of a sudden the defense converges. And it's going to be stopped at around about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. We're going to get him a spot on the 33. Here we go. 8 drives today for this Gladiators team. We're about to see a 7th drive start for this Stars team. The Stars have driven the ball for touchdowns from their own 25, from their own 20, from their own 30, and most recently from the 49-yard line of the Gladiators. They don't have a lot of time to get this 67 yards. They don't have a recognised kicker, but they only trail by 2 points. George Dutton. He's got 3 receivers to the near side of the screen. Sam Simmons to the top of the screen. He hands off to McGuinness. McGuinness has had contact immediately made by his opposite number, Jack Panaccio, and he's going to bring him down for no gain. It's going to be second down. Second down and 9 to go. They're going to give him a yard. McManus has had a game. McGuinness had a game. 113 yards from 16 carries. The clock continues to run. No timeout. They've only got 1 left. They're going to hand it off to McGuinness again. He's got a lot of great blocking out here on this side. He's going to punch a hole. He's going to turn inside, Bennett. He's going to beat the tackle of Panaccio. And Mason McGuinness is going to go all the way for a 64-yard touchdown. Unbelievable, incredible blocking. He got every block he needed, and then he managed to get through some arm tackles. There are just men on haunches everywhere you look. The score goes to Stars 30, Gladiators 26, 64 yards on that touchdown run by Mason McGuinness. He had 113 yards before that one. He has 177 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, and the Stars lead this game 30-26. But there's still time for more points. This is incredible. I don't think anyone was thinking when they woke up this morning we'd have 56 points in this game, and the Stars looking to convert to push this out to a 6-point lead. McGuinness isn't there, and Dutton has to take it himself, and he gets in. Dutton with the first 2-point conversion. That's successful. 32 points to 26, and we've got about a minute left. The Stars lead this one, and they're going to be kicking off to a Gladiators team who we've seen score touchdowns from all over the shop today. Oh my goodness, fourth quarter. Stars 32, Gladiators 26. Goodness me. There have been touchdowns every direction. There have been big plays. There have been meaningful small plays. Oh my God. The first game we had 36-14. We had 40 points. No, that's 50. 50 points in the first game. We've got 56 here in the second game. 100 total points. I tell you, I'm an emotional wreck. It's been up, it's been down. It has been an incredible game. Manjot Melly, you are watching somewhere I know, because I'm getting messages from Manjot Melly through social media saying, what is happening? Well, I wish I could tell you. I've been trying to describe it, and I don't feel like I've been doing it justice. And it just gives me just all the admiration in the world for how Manjot does this week on week. As George Dutton is going to put the sky underneath this one and send it down to Brodie Norris, who catches this one in his 15. He wants to set this up on the wide side, and he looks like he's going to get a block. He beats an arm tackle. He's in space. He's only got Dutton to beat. And now Dutton gets enough of him to slow him down, to be brought down near the halfway. And thank goodness we had some other tacklers there. Great tackles in the end, as we saw just a number plate of number 30, Darcy Mansfield, was part of that tackle as well. And thank goodness. Oh, my goodness. 48 yards. Brings that ball out from his 16 to the 48, a 32-yard return. And this is, I don't know, they've stopped this Gladiators team a couple of times today. They're going to need to do it again. They're going to need to do it again. They stopped him by turning over a fumble. They stopped him by letting him only get 27 yards on a drive before when they came out from the half. They're going to get Matt King behind, who pops it over the top. This is Butterfield, who breaks a tackle of Toby Flett. Does he stay in bounds? He doesn't stay in bounds. We see the judge on this side, Butters, call him out at the 39-yard line. It's a 13-yard gain on a lovely little dump over the top pass and catch for John Butterfield. And Matt King doing a lovely job here. He's got 5 of 6 completions today. He has a touchdown catch that went to Jake Humphries. And Butterfield with a 13-yard catch over the top and went out of bounds. Importantly, went out of bounds because it stops the clock. Got about a minute to go in this game. And we've got Matt King accepting the snap. He's going to drop back. He looks across and finds Bennett. Bennett puts his fist right in the face of Clayton Gunning once, twice. He's escorted over the sideline by Lachlan Hardy. And we are going to see second down and around about 4 yards, maybe 3 yards to get. But he's out of bounds. And Bennett hasn't had a catch since half-time. But he goes and picks up this catch across the middle of the field. He gets the ball now to the 32-yard line. Gain of 7. Second down and 3 yards to get. This game is not over. How is this not? This game is everything. Everything that you might have thought it would be when you looked at the label today. You go, what's in that bottle? It's been even better than advertised. And you've got Matt King passing again. Drops back. Oh, we've got some movement. It's a false start against the offense. It's going to be a 5-yard loss on this. We're going to repeat second down, but it's going to be second down and 8. Oh, my gosh. Peyton Evans, our scoreboard operator beside me, she's got a earpiece in. I think she's got some music going on in the other ear. She needs it in the nearer ear. She's going to have lopsided hearing after this game. The poor kid. She's got lopsided piercings. She's now going to have lopsided hearing. It is second and 8. Matt King avoids some contact, but great contact. Maskell Knight, celebrate, might you? He brings Matt King down for a loss of 7 yards. He's going to be spotted down at about the 45, and this is going to be third down and 15. The drama as we see a timeout for the Gladiators. It's their first of the half. And they're going to need to dial up 2 special plays here. They are third and 15. It might be a bit predictable to go and get it all. 17 yards now they need. 17. They it's going to be a bit ambitious to get it all in one go, right? You want to saw this into two pieces. You want to send 2 plays out there to your quarterback now, because if you are stopped in bounds, you need to get back to your huddle quickly. You want to preserve that timeout, because even if you can get this first down, you still are 30 yards away. So you're going to need to preserve your timeouts. That false start before really looked like it hurt him, but gee, getting pushed back here. They are at the 46-yard line. 3rd down and 17. Come out from this timeout. Matt King loses 8 yards on that run. And here we go. The defense chance coming up from that Stars sideline. Matt King with his feet on the wrong side of halfway if you want to be scoring. He gets the ball. He looks downfield. He's got some hips. He throws it in front of Jake Humphries, and it is bashed to the ground by Toby Flynn. He's not trying to intercept it. He just beats it with his fist. It's 4th down and 17, and this is the entire game right now. You have to have it. And Matt King wanted it all on 3rd down. He doesn't get any of it. Now he's forced to get it on 4th down. There is some very soft coverage on the edges here. 2 receivers on the near side of the screen. One at the top, and then Bennett on the end of the line. And look where their nearest corners are. 7, 8, and 10 yards off. They're waiting for the receivers to come there. Matt King's going to run. Now, they need to step up because over the line of scrimmage when he throws that ball, it's complete, but it's going to be called back. And Jake Humphries is down on the 5, but he had stepped over the line of scrimmage before he threw it. There was a flag before that. There's going to be a lot to unpick here. It is 4th down, and the best they can hope for is that maybe there are offsetting penalties, but I feel like that may be wishful. We're going to wait to see what comes from this powwow of the zebras in the middle of the field. Black and white stripes having a yarn. What's going to come of it? This fight from the Gladiators today, they got out to a lead. They got out to a comfy lead. 2 scores. They had it sawn back. They put that 2-score lead back in place. They had it brought back to 1 score before halftime, and then the Stars went out and took the lead. Had it snatched from them. They put it back up. And here come the Gladiators trying to turn that around in the final moments of this game. We have got all kinds of drama down here. We're about to get the call from Sean Dove. We have got holding. And we are going to take this back from 4th and 17. It is going to be 4th and 27. 4th and what's your best trick play? 4th and we need a bus to get the ball across halfway from here. Then we need another bus to get it to where the original line of scrimmage was. And then we need a connecting flight to get a 1st down. It's less complicated to get to rural Ireland than it is to get a 1st down from here. It might be a long way to Tipperary, but that might be closer. The Gladiators need a miracle. Matt King calls for it. He gets it. Thomas Grant with the pressure. Did he touch his arm? The ball is intercepted by George Dutton. He's going to return this ball. He gets it across the halfway. He gets it across the 30. He gets it across the 25. And he is thrown out of bounds at the 22. And that will do it for the Stars. The last play of the game, and they win this game 32 points to 26. Oh my goodness. Catch your breath. George Dutton takes that intercept and he brings it back from the 35. Oh my goodness, that is the only time we've had to catch a breath in the 4th quarter. Teams get ready to shake hands. The scoring in this game, it was 20-12 at halftime. The Stars did a good job to bring it back to that. In the second half, they got the first score with a 46-yard run by Mason McGuinness in the 3rd quarter. They then got a 30-yard run from Mason McGuinness in the 4th quarter to take the lead. What